right, hello everybody. Welcome to the Dark Roast and Nerdiness podcast, episode number 3. I'm your host, as always, Wolf, with my co-host Shark. As you can see, we've made again some vastic improvements on our stuff, sound quality. Got Shark a actual nice camera instead of that funky piece of shit that he will have to apologize for his audio quality. It took 3 podcasts for him to realize he wasn't using his microphone, as in the microphone. He was using the webcam.
No, that was just last one.
Oh, that was actually just the last one.
That was just the last one. Yeah, screwy. And we are on episode 4, sir, not 3.
Oh,
we have made it to our 4th episode.
Foreign climbing. As you can see by the title is Burning Cables and Coffee in the Verse. I decided to call it this one because we are going to talk about several different things today, from things going on in Star Citizen, controversies that have kind of hit Star Citizen. We're going to feature our coffee roaster of the month. Shark is going to share with us again. This is his time for his content creator spotlight. And we are also going to talk about upcoming stuff that's coming down the pipe when it comes to everything hitting March, when it comes to streaming shows, new releases, and shows coming back. And we're also going to start off, as in the title, Burning Cables. Our first subject we're going to hit today is the... if you don't know it, Team Red versus Team Green, or as I like to call it, Honorable AMD versus Ingredia. Because of their cocksucking prices, that is a total effing joke. I mean, seriously, guys. And if you think you're going to get any of these at MSRP, well, I'll rephrase that. AMD, you're going to find at MSRP maybe 50 to 100 above. A lot of good thought went into their releases for their stuff this time. A lot of places have a good amount of inventory, and they are holding true to the MSRP. Unlike NVIDIA, when they released the 50,000 series, Micro Center in Houston, when it came to the 5090, the size of Houston. Shark, would you like to elaborate how big Houston's population is?
Houston's population. Let's put it this way. Traffic in Houston, whenever I lived there, I had to drive 30 miles from my job to my house. There were days that literally to drive that 30 miles took me over 2.5 hours to get home because of traffic.
Population.
People in Los Angeles understand my pain.
But I'm talking like population size. How big would you say Houston is?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I just know that I was happy to get my ass out of there because it was too damn packed. And Houston is literally bigger than some European countries. Houston by itself is bigger than some European countries.
So now take a guess on this. One micro center in all of Houston. How many 5090s, which was the, again, most anticipated car that I got to have the best of the best of the best of the best because my PP is in a gamers had to go get that 5090. They already knew for months people are clamoring about that were clamoring about it, that were all like, we got to get it. You know, I'm going to get it. So they already knew the demand was out there. How many cards do you think?
I think they had 2 at the time.
No, they had 5.
5. Oh. Yeah, but I also think that Micro Center, after living there and going to Micro Center so many times, which I absolutely love the place, I think they kind of fed into the hype a little. And what they would do is say, hey, we've only got X amount and we're limiting to 1 per person. So come get them quick. Yeah. And in the back, they probably had 50 of them, but we've only got 5.
No,
so your friends come get them quick.
The number of 5 came from the distributor of NVIDIA itself, not Micro Center. I will hand Micro Center one thing, unlike every other place out there. Everything sold at the MSRPs they were advertised at, because Microsoft Center always does that. They never price gouge. And as everybody else, yeah, those assholes jumped up by 35% in the first 10 minutes of launch. Yeah, that's... So yeah, where we're going to start at is the biggest controversy when it comes to the 5090 series, and I believe, and don't quote me on this, I think it's the 5090 only. It may be all of them, I don't know. So for those of y'all that might not be aware, if you're not in the full tech sphere and everything, a few years ago, the 4000 series came out. So the 4090, the 4070, the 4080. People were reporting that at where the 12 pin plug plugs into the video card, the video cards were catching fire and the plugs were melting. NVIDIA blamed everybody but the design of their piece of shit cable. It came out down the road, thanks through due diligence of people like DeBauer, Jay's 2 Cents, Gamers Nexus, Linus Tech, all your tech YouTubers started tearing these things apart and running test upon test upon test upon test, and came to the fact that it was the design of the pins inside the cable. That if basically the way it locks in, if you're bending the cable, which face it, all of us do to make the cases look good or to even get the cable into the damn case, was bending those pins, and the pins were coming loose and causing shorts. You think they'd fix this? They've had what, 4 years, I think, since the 4000 series came out. Which, by the way, they didn't even need to do the 12 pin anyway. They could have just done 3 8-pins like everybody else. But no, they forced everybody and the power supply companies to make these new damn pin sets, which, by the way, AMD does not use on any of theirs. Only one AMD has a 12 pin, and that is not due to AMD. It is, go figure, Gigabyte, one of their limited cards. And the way it plugs in, it's inside the bus of the side. Yeah, it's a weird design. I'm not digging it. But anyway, you'd think they'd fix it. Well, they did. They did fix the connector issue. What we're about to watch, thanks to DeBauer, is now not only are the cables starting fires at the GPUs, there are some that are frying the PCU end, the power supply unit end. And what he found through his tests, yeah, it ain't good. It ain't good at all. It is an utter crapshoot. So this is DeBauer's video. And by the way, if you look at our descriptions now, we are going to be placing every link of everybody, giving credit to everybody who we are reacting to and watching to. I believe in open transparency, and I believe that all content creators should acknowledge other content creators. So everybody on here, their name of their videos and full links to these videos is down below in the descriptions. So this is DeBauer's breakdown. We're just going to watch it real quickly. Because, yeah, it's pretty crazy what he found out.
Hi and welcome back to a new video. You maybe followed the news in the previous 1 to 2 days where images of a damaged RTX 5090 were floating around. They were posted on Reddit by Ivan6953, who turns out is based in Berlin. And he was nice to lend this card to us, which is exactly this damaged RTX 5090, together with the damaged cable and also the damaged PSU, that we can take a look at his case and maybe try to figure something out. Because coincidence, at the weekend I was testing my RTX 5090 Founders Edition, which we changed in the last video to a water-cooled card.
To give a little insight, sorry for pausing everybody real quickly, to give a little bit of insight, that is on the open market right now a $3,200 graphics card. And that power supply is a 1,000-watt ROG Thor. That is a $400 to $500 power supply. That's almost $4,000 of shit that fried.
And I was running this card under load and I noticed something extremely concerning. And this was kind of aligning, or it aligned a little bit with what he was observing or what he experienced. That will be a difficult video. Thermal Greasy Duranout is our new high-end thermal paste and the successor of Cryonaut. It's even better performing, it is much easier to apply, it is cheaper, and it's much more durable. That's where the name comes from. Especially if you're now maybe considering to buy a new PC, then I would highly recommend that you're looking into this thermal paste. So let's continue with this video. First, we will get to Ivan's case, who posted images of his damaged card cable and PSU on Reddit on Sunday. He described in his post how he was playing Battlefield 5, and he saw about 500 to 520 watts under load. He then experienced a burnt smell and shut down his system. Then he investigated everything and he found his card damaged. So in the first image, we can see the damaged card with a damaged 12-volt high-power cable. Now, if we look at the GPU, we can see one burned spot in the socket of the card. And now what was especially interesting is that also the PSU was damaged. So we can see even more damaged spots on the PSU socket. And of course, if we take a look at the cable, it is also damaged on both sides accordingly. It is also important to me that we don't take this case out of context. It is a single case which we want to investigate, and I want to look at this from an objective standpoint.
Okay, so now that you see the damage to it, we're not going to watch the whole video because it's a pretty in-depth video. I suggest any you watching, if you want more insight into this, watch DeBauer's video, watch Gamer Nexus, and Jay's 2 cents. They all did their own breakdown and test. Jay did an amazing one where they plugged in to basically test the theory if the cables are back, the pins are backing out like the 4090 did. They basically plugged in and out the cable 100 times in and out of the GPU just to see, and then put a microscope lens down in to see if the pins are bending in and out. So as you can see right here, this is kind of the microscopic breakdown. And again, we've got a pin completely bent over. You look almost all like that one's already been out of whack. This one's completely destroyed. And it's even the same down onto the PSU. Now what I'd like to get into is, here's the crazy part.
40 to 550 watts on the GPU. To keep it simple, I will just run Furmark for now. We're checking this with the thermal imaging camera, and you will see that right now it's only the motherboard that is warm. So we see center measurement, you can see on the top left. It's just below 50 degrees Celsius, makes sense with a couple of M.2 SSDs underneath. And also the water temperature is currently about 22 degrees Celsius, which perfectly aligns with what we can measure on like the fittings and the water block itself. If we zoom out a bit more, then you see basically nothing. Like the cables, PSU, nothing looks strange.
Check this
out.
Then
I grabbed the thermal imaging camera. So we're starting Furmark. And currently,
look at
you
that.
can see it already on the PSU side.
The cables literally start getting nuclear.
This is after 45 seconds. You can clearly see
Look at that.
how
The whole length of two of the wires
are getting
out of
warm,
the 12.
and the rest isn't. That is extremely unusual. And if we switch to the PSU side, this is 1 minute of load. 1 minute of load, and we see
now
over
if the load is
120
being equally
degrees
distributed
Celsius
in that cable versus
on the
all
connector
through
side
all
on
12
the
like it's
PSU.
supposed to, none
It's
of them should be
difficult
getting that
to
hot.
get
Two,
something this
all of
like,
them,
tiny
if
on
they're going
the
to get
thermal
hot,
imaging
are all
camera.
going
You can see that it's just
But
those
look at
two
that.
wires. The rest is staying cold. But those two, those specific ones, I can definitely feel it, which means, yeah, the estimated 50 degrees. That seems correct.
So to break this all down for y'all, Gamers Nexus broke it down even more, using an amp meter and checking the load. Those cables were literally taking like 80% of the load of power.
Well, and for those who don't know, he said that those cables were 50 degrees. He's referring to Celsius. That is 122 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yep. And the protection
On
built on
cables.
those wires is not designed to get that hot.
No.
We're not talking Romex in your walls. This is not designed to get that hot.
Correct.
So yeah, that's basically what's going on with the 5090. And so far from what I understand, I've been trying to keep up with it. Again, I don't believe NVIDIA's accepted any fault again.
They won't.
Yeah. So now we go to the next thing in our red versus green is we have the breakdown of current prices for the release to kind of show you what's really going out on the market. This is all from Tom's Hardware. This was done on January 27th. So this was prior to the new AMD launch. But you go down here. Here is what is close to your retail pricing of what the retail pricing was supposed to be on the 4000 series cards. $739. Best he could find in the US in January still is $899. $949, $1,600. And this is not eBay prices. These are retail locations. $902, you can't even find the fucker anywhere. $1,500, and literally 3 years later, it's still a $2,500 card because of all the markup.
And if you go on eBay looking for this, I just pulled it. There's one guy listing it for $7,300. Sorry, $7,400
for the 5090 or for 4090?
For the 5090.
Yep. Yeah, the 5090s, you're not gonna, even when they get them back in stock, they'll never be at retail at MSRP. They never were. I mean, hell, look at even the 3090s. This is a card that's what, 6-7 years old?
Mm-hmm.
Still at $1,800. Now, here's the interesting one. These are for the core graphics cards for the 7000 series, which was the one generation before the most recent release for AMD. I have a 7900 XTX. And the 7900 XTX I have is a Liquid Devil. That is still considered one of the most powerful cards out there. You can't find it right now just because when they do Liquid Devils, they're limited releases. So eBay's probably your best bet to find something like that. But here's to show the difference. Their flagship card, MSRP, was $899. Lowest it's ever been is $819. Still to this day, $869. Right around MSRP. Same with the 7900 XT. The 7900 GRE, the reason you're not going to see any stock is you don't want that damn thing. The GRE is actually the card that was made for Hong Kong. That's the China card. And I also believe the GRE is also the one that you cannot use it for any type of mining. But still, it shows the point. You go back down to the 6900 series. Again, not a huge super markup except for the 6800 XT, which that's been one of those weird cards that it fluctuates up and down, and who cares about the Intel arcs? They kind of suck.
Well, and what a lot of people don't realize, they're sitting here, well, why are these things so expensive? And it's because of Bitcoin mining. The whole drive behind this is Bitcoin mining.
Well, Bitcoin mining jumped it. And due to COVID and all the shutdowns and the manufacturer delays, that screwed it up again. This, though, most of this is just the last 3 launches for NVIDIA. They have had no inventory, no matter where the hell you look. And I believe it's intentional. They don't care. They don't give a damn about their customers. What they did with the card and the cards burning and all that is very evident they don't care.
Well, and to my point about Bitcoin mining, though, the top 10 cards for mining, 9 out of 10 are NVIDIA's, 1 AMD. 9 out of the top 10 cards are all NVIDIA's, and that's going from the 4090 all the way down to the 3080.
Yep. Now, to do a comparison, Shark on your screen so you can have the numbers. Look up what the NVIDIA 4070 Ti is going for.
All right. First pop up right here. Make sure I'm looking at the right one. 4070. We're going to go with Newegg. I think almost everybody knows Newegg as far as how that goes. MSI Gaming GeForce RTX 4070 Ti. This is a 12 gigs graphics card. $1,400.
So $1,400.
Yep.
For a card that is several years old. and is using it's now the old architecture because you got the 5000 series out and all those. This is the card that just released from AMD. This is the Ryzen RX 9070 XT. $599, and it will beat the 4070 Ti.
Run circles
and it's available everywhere in stock. In fact, you get the non-XT for $649. But look at the stats right there. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand the love of NVIDIA. I only NVIDIA card I've ever owned is the one that is in my process streaming rig. And the only reason I took the 6800 XT out and went with this one is because when I do streaming and other different types of editing stuff, the studio drivers for NVIDIA at that time would integrate with any editing software or OBS and allow you to remove backgrounds and do stuff that you used to need a green screen for, and it would do it automatically using the AI computes that are in it. But other than that, I've never seen a difference. I've run every game. I mean, I'm getting, close to 60 frames a second on 4K in Cyberpunk 2077 with all ray tracing on except for path ray tracing, because I don't really care for path ray tracing. It is a little overkill. It looks beautiful, but in gameplay, I didn't really see it really affecting the immersion to me much. And I'm still getting the speeds close to what a 4090 is getting. I mean, the only difference is 4090 will run the path tracing and all the ray tracing and get the same frame rates. If I turn on path ray tracing, it's going to drop to about 45. But yeah, that's why I don't know, man. I do not foresee NVIDIA's days lasting much longer as the king of the castle, because there's just too many issues and too many people are just utterly pissed off at them. I mean, especially with this last launch, and now to wait over. Some people waited a week in line to get a chance to get one of those cards, and then you get home and the damn thing not only it fries itself, it fries your power supply with it. Yeah, just don't see it.
Well, and it also depends on if they find out that it's actually shorting the power supply out, that can double back and burn your board.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is even worse than the 4090s. The 4090s was just the connection point to the GPU. So yeah, again, why did you feel the need to create a new cable when 8 pins work just damn fine? And every freaking power supply had them. So let you decide. If you watch the video, leave some comments, man. We'd love to hear from you people, see what you think, what your thoughts are and stuff like this. But yeah, it's interesting to see where the battle between, Team Red and Team Green goes, because I think right now, when it comes to customer satisfaction and it comes to price point for performance and availability, AMD's kicking their ass. Just hands down. So for our next segment in the show today, we are basically going to hop into our roaster of the month. This month is my favorite. I have several of these coffees from these roasters on hand all the time. It is Manhattan Coffee Roasters. They are out of Rotterdam, Netherlands. They are a duo who were both world barista champions. They have some amazing coffees with an amazing profile. Just every type of thing. If you love light roast, if you love fruity and acidic, if you love power forward coffees, if you love complex and unique coffees, if you want something that just makes an amazing silky milk chocolate espresso, they have that. When you order coffee from them, you literally get to pick out of the coffees. Are you ordering it to make espresso, or are you ordering it for filter? Because that will change the roast profile they do. When you order the coffee, they roast it that night. Like the minute that it would be night for us, day for them, because again, they're in the Netherlands. But yeah, I've been ordering from them for a while. So it was formed by two people. You have Esther Mastam, who, if you can see here, was the Dutch latte art champion for multiple years running. barista champion, 4th place, Dutch cup taster champion. And then the second person is Ben Morrow. And again, he is Australian Latte Art Champion, Global Barista Champion, World Latte Art, New York Coffee Masters Champion, London. I mean, they're both coffee heads. And yeah, they're just turning out amazing coffees. I have not had a single one I dislike. Shark has tried several of theirs that I've made for him while he's here. What were your thoughts on the ones you tried? You're muted, Bubba. We ain't hearing you.
There we go. I'm moving stuff around. Yeah, as a coffee noob, the ability to be able to enjoy a cup of coffee without needing to add any sweeteners of any sort, and still being able to get a light, not, bitter flavor was really cool and delicious.
Yeah, that's honestly what blew my mind. Is one of the first coffees I got from this company literally tasted like a sweet peach tea.
Yeah, these coffees are not your dad's can of Folgers.
No. However, though, if you do want just a straight nutty coffee, they have those too. The one thing you will not find, though, is dark roasts. Most European roasters do not do dark roasts. In fact, this big misconception that Italian roast is super dark, bullshit. It was called an Italian roast because it was a roast that was completely concentrically made for espresso and espresso only. Just like a French roast. There's a lady here that owns a bakery called Le Bolgerie here in San Antonio. And her and I had a very fun-hearted, laughing conversation about when someone came in and I was there and they mentioned, they saw she had her French roast for sale. And she had to literally tell them, this is not going to be the French roast you're used to, the French roast you think. It's like what y'all assume as French roast is not what us French people drink at all. Because they drink lighter coffees. The only darker coffees they drink are espressos, and their espressos are also more of what we consider medium. So, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for that oily, burnt ass piece of shit bean, got news for you.
Starbucks.
Stick to Starbucks. Stick to a few other American companies I won't mention. But that is not what you're supposed to do to coffee. That is literally stripping the coffee of everything that gave the bean its uniqueness. I mean, you might as well go take some charcoal that was out of sitting in the basin of your grill and brew that with some water, because it's the same damn thing. So, go ahead and check out Manhattan Coffee Roasters. I do guarantee that if you love things of very unique coffees and very things that are of that nature, you're going to love what you order from them. I will give you one warning. The shipping is right around 23 to 30 euros. So order several bags because that price does not change, and you can fit, I want to say, up to about 6 250 gram bags for that price point before it changes. So take advantage of it. I guarantee you're not going to be disappointed in what you order. And a little bit of interesting tidbit about the shipping. I have ordered from this place and got my order at my door 4 days later. Let that sink in for a second. 4 days from order to roast to Netherlands to me. I can't even get shit from California in 2 fucking weeks. But this is the Netherlands, and for literally maybe at max seven business days. So definitely give them a shout out, give them a shot. I think you'll thoroughly enjoy them. It is definitely something worth checking out. So for our next one, we're going to hop into, we're going to check out both the Sony State of Play releases that they showed and the Xbox Live Developer Showcase. This is going to be our gaming segment for tonight. Coffee fueled tantrums about some of the good games that look like they're coming out, and some of the ones that look like they probably should have not made them at all. So let's give this a go. We're going to start here on the PlayStation official channel with the state of play. Now, we may fast forward through some of this. Don't really need to see all the people talking. Just going to get to the games. All divers.
You know, I hate to ask, but did they buy that robot? Are they now the new robot?
It blows my mind how platformers are like it come back in such a major way.
Mm.
Hi everyone, I'm Nicolas Doucet, the studio head at Team Asobi. We couldn't be happier with the reception to Astrobot and to see how much joy Astro is bringing to homes all around the world. On behalf of Team Asobi, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Who took the sun away? Little soul, you charming little wanderer, where are you?
The art style almost reminds me. What's that movie called?
And so
Nine?
it was.
Yeah, or that Coraline, any like
slave
those stop motion
took a wander
Yeah,
style.
down the midnight walk.
that's kind of cool, actually. I'd be interested in the gameplay just because the art style I'm kind of digging the art style.
Yeah.
I don't remember when it happened, but I remember how I felt. Father told us to hide when they came to our house. Then they took him away. Mother said I couldn't play outside anymore. Everyone had fled. She said the country was sick, but we would be okay. Mother always said monsters didn't exist.
Think he's compensating for
I
anything?
thought they lived under my bed. We were both wrong. They lived inside our heads.
Oh. Actually looks kind of cool. I think it's going to make or break it. Game when it comes to fighting.
Well, I like that it's not a guaranteed first-person shooter.
Yeah, well, that's mostly what I'm kind of digging at. I like games that are like that. That's one reason why I loved The Division when it came out. Was that over the shoulder kind of third person view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely different.
Yeah.
My story is a tale of rules rewritten by nuclear fire.
Oh, hey, Serdar!
Oh, it's VR.
Have you seen Yana?
Something happened.
She's in no state to be wandering out in the metro alone. I need to go after her.
They really need to.
Their bodies.
That's the one thing that drives me nuts about VR games.
Please.
Why do
just
they
let
do it to
Yana
where
be
it's literally
alright.
just disconnected
What is
hands?
that?
Give me the arms.
So not all of them are like
Keep
that.
hearing other voices on the
This
radio.
is, and that destroys it for me.
Did you not hear any of that? Yana, is that you?
Well, I'm assuming this is
Seeing things.
the VR version of Metro.
Hearing things. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Sometimes we need to become the thing we fear.
It's interesting that PlayStation's trying to get into its own VR again.
Yep, yeah. They stepped away from it for a while, which is kind of
Yeah.
funny because for PlayStation 4, the VR was pretty damn good. I mean, I liked playing the Batman one.
So, how did it feel to learn the truth about the night sky tragedy? Long ago, you humans slaughtered each other until the whole world lay in ruins. And yet, you have been granted another chance in Auroria. It must be the will of your beloved mother goddess. However, I still have no trust in your kind.
Kind of getting Witcher meets World of Warcraft.
Yeah, is it me or like why are so many games when you go into the battles, like literally you look at the movement and the way they're spinning around and everything, it's literally what was that one game?
Prove yourself.
Almost all of them are doing it.
If you
Like
survive this
Oh.
trial,
Monster Hunter, all these things, it's like it becomes one big circle when you're in a battle.
Yeah. Well, that's the way they give that 360
perhaps
feel.
you might
Yeah,
become
but it makes
one
all of them start
of
looking like it's
us.
just the same game with different things pasted over them.
Kinda.
That's one thing I always loved about, the original Assassin's Creed games is each one just got better at what the first one started, and you had full movement. And you didn't have that where you felt
Center
trapped.
point. Is this Power World?
I think probably. You mean the game that Nintendo tried to pseudo Oblivion?
Rightfully so. Yep, this is Power World.
Maybe rightfully so, but I think the reason they really did it is because the game that Nintendo, the Poké game that they wanted to make like this didn't sell as well as this thing did, because this thing actually did it better.
I don't know. Pokemon's been selling for literally a couple of decades now.
Yeah, but I'm talking like the style of game this was. Pokemon wanted to do one like that, and they never could get it really done right. So this, in a sense, took what they couldn't do.
Thanks to Pocket Pair for that new look at Pal World, an incredible open world.
Wow, I'm not gonna
game
make any
that's launching
comment.
today on the PlayStation 5
I need
console.
to.
We have a few more games with breaking news today.
In your dreams, love is the plot, carried on wings of hope.
What
Lunar
is this
Remastered
one?
Collection brings together Lunar, the Silver Star Story Complete, and Lunar 2, Eternal Blue Complete, with updated visuals, widescreen mode, and more.
Instantly
I miss the
Inviting
games like that.
you already bought a game you already bought. So the game you already bought, and we just needed to make it better.
Yeah, but
Lunar
I
Remastered
miss that
Collection
style
comes
of
to PS5
turn-based
and PS4
fun
in
game.
spring 2025.
Yeah.
2 updates on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. First, the Radical Reptiles DLC, which adds Mondo Gecko and Mona Lisa as playable characters. And for no extra cost, a remixed in-game soundtrack featuring some amazing guest composers. Both of these updates arrive later today.
Kind of dig that it looks like the old original arcade.
Movie coming out, they had to come out with a new game.
Yep.
Huh? I've taken on another form?
And yes, you heard right. Keanu Reeves is joining Sonic X Shadow Generations as part of the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie pack. This update is inspired by scenes from the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie and arrives December 12th. The Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie pack is included in the Digital Deluxe Edition, which lets you play the game 3 days ahead of its October 25th release date.
Hello, State of Play. I'm Sakaguchi, producer of Fantasy and Neo Dimension. 手作りのジオラマを使ったファンタジアンネオディメンジョン150も作りました。そしてランダムエンカウントを貯めて
Jesus Christ, so you're playing a game that all the backgrounds is actual handmade dioramas that they set the game over.
Yeah.
音楽はファイナルファンタジーシリーズで共に歩んできた上松さんです。
That's some serious dedication.
PlayStation 5にて2024年12月5日発売。どうか皆さんにプレイしていただけたらと願っています。
We're just over a month away from the release of Dragon Age: The Veilguard.
I just realized
Let's
that
check in with BioWare and Electronic Arts for an extended look at a climactic battle.
Yeah, Dragon Age: The Veilguard came out. It sucked ass. It's an utter failure.
Yep.
So yeah, most of these are coming out. So I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently I have the wrong state of play.
Not yet, but they
However,
found
there's some of
something
these I
else
had
worth
not
killing.
seen yet.
One of her blighted dragons.
This one I had. Alan Wake 2. Yes,
Rook,
a lot of these have
you made
come
it.
out.
Good. Wouldn't miss it. We have unfinished business with that dragon.
We've tracked it to a ruined tower nearby.
That lair is a death trap. We need to lure her out to have any chance.
Okay, well, I apologize for that mistake. That was my fault. So next podcast, we'll actually probably watch the current state of play once I dig and find the damn thing. So I guess we'll jump ahead, and this one I know is the most current one because this one's only 30 days old. This is the Developer Direct 2025 for new stuff coming down the pipe from Xbox. However, though, even though we were watching an old one from PlayStation, I thought some of them looked pretty damn interesting. And oddly enough, some of the ones that look interesting, I don't think have come out yet because I haven't heard anything more on them.
こんにちは、声テクモゲームズチーム忍者の安田文彦です。今日は皆様にチーム忍者が長く大切にしてきたアクションシリーズの新情報を発表できる機会をいただけてとても嬉しく思います。早速ですが、こちらをご覧ください。
Several years ago, the Dark Dragon, youngest of the divine dragon gods, wreaked havoc across the world. The plot was ultimately thwarted through the efforts of a sole ninja. However, the Dark Dragon's husk remained, and from this husk fell an endless downpour of cursed rain. The abandoned Tokyo continues its struggle against chaos to this day.
Infiltrated the facility. Commencing mission. No escape.
Oh. This looks familiar.
I have a feeling this is Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You're open.
But that's not the main guy that we've always played. I'm loving what I'm seeing so far. I get doing the Devil May Cry Ninja.
Ryu Hayabusa.
Well, he just mentioned the name of the original guy.
Whatever your clan is plotting,
there he is.
it ends here.
Ninja Gaiden. The question being, are we playing this new guy the whole time, or are we jumping? Okay, we're jumping. So, yeah, I was going to say, if I don't get to play as Ryu, I'm just kind of like, why do I want to play this?
I will execute my mission.
Yep.
世界中の町人の皆さん、10年以上大変お待たせしました。最強の忍者となり、容赦なく襲い来る敵に挑むハイスピードアクション、忍者ガイデンのナンバリング最新作として、忍者ガイデン4を発表させていただきました。本作はプラチナゲームズさんとの協業で開発を進めています。プラチナゲームズさんのアクションゲームというジャンルにおける実績は言うまでもなく、ベヨネッタやニアオートマタなど素晴らしいアクションタイトルを生み出してこられました。忍者ガイデン4というタイトルを10年以上の時を超えて新たに皆様にお届けするにあたり、より多くの方に新鮮な気持ちでプレイしていただけるよう、新たな世界を新主人公であるもう一人の町人、ヤクモで冒険するという形で制作することにしました。
Ninja Gaiden Black?
先ほどご覧いただいた映像の中で、竜はやぶさも登場しておりましたが、彼は今回も物語に密接に関わってきます。なぜヤクモと戦うことになったのか、竜はやぶさが戦う目的は何なのか、本作の物語の中で展開していきます。
任務は必ず成し遂げる。邪魔をするな。
物語は黒竜がもたらした正気の雨によって荒廃した首都東京が舞台となっています。この雨は黒竜がまだ生きている証であり、雨が止まない限り東京に安寧は訪れません。今作の新主人公であり、はやぶさと対をなすカラス一門に所属するヤクモが首都東京で黒竜を倒し、この世界を晴らすため戦いに身を投じます。
これまで忍者ガイデンシリーズで描かれてきたダークでハードな世界観は継承し、そこにさらに危機を感じさせる要素として呪いやより混沌とした景観のデザインを取り入れています。
Alright, what you think on it?
I'm ready for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely looks interesting. It definitely looks like it'll be fun. Let's see what we got next.
Hi, and welcome to Compulsion Games here in Montreal, Canada. At our studio, we care about world building, and we treat the setting almost like a character of its own. From the magical noir of contrast to the alternate history of We Happy Few, we draw inspiration from the landscape to shape mood, drama, and intrigue. For South of Midnight, our third-person action-adventure game, the story and characters bring a folkloric Deep South to life. This gave us a chance to explore Southern Gothic themes with a dark fantasy twist. So while our protagonist Hazel is at the forefront of our story, it's the macabre elements and larger-than-life creatures that will leave a mark on her journey and growth.
It is really picking up out there. Did you pack everything?
Mama, this ain't my first hurricane. I know what to do.
As long as you didn't forget the
Flashlights and batteries.
Oh, shoot, we got 5 minutes. Let's go.
We won't be rushed if you didn't.
Don't mumble. Speak on it.
I said we wouldn't be rushed if you didn't waste all that time at the shelter.
Now, you want to bring this up right now.
I'm just saying.
Hazel, please.
We might need some help. I might need some help. While you're out helping everybody else.
Hazel!
Hazel may start her journey as a typical 19-year-old, but disastrous events will push her into a darkly magical
Where
world
do I know
where
her from?
she'll learn who she really is and how to tap into weaving.
I know I've seen
An
her
ancient
before.
magical power that redefines her trajectory in life.
So far, I'm
The
kind of
land
intrigued
itself
in the story.
chooses
and everything.
Hazel
I
as
think
a
the only thing
weaver.
throwing me off, I don't know about you, is that one clip
Someone who
scene
can
they
see
just
beyond
showed.
the surface
The
and tap
animation
into
style they've
deeper
chosen to
reality.
use
The grand
is a
tapestry.
mirror where the characters kind of
Weavers
like
can see the fabric
lacking
binding
in
our
emotional
worlds,
delivery.
connecting people, nature, and echoes of the past.
Keep those hands to yourself.
Hazel can perceive both the mystical strands and stigmas in the world. Through her newfound power, she reweaves these stigmas and mends the afflicted creatures she encounters. As Hazel discovers her power, the world gradually shifts into the surreal, revealing that creatures from the old folktales actually exist.
You up here, my salvation.
Among them is good old Catfish, the storyteller who becomes both the guide and companion to Hazel across the game.
It ain't every day I hear about a new weaver such as yourself. Would you kindly do your weaver thing and help me down?
Meeting Catfish marks the true beginning of Hazel's journey. All of Hazel's arsenal and powers are designed around textile crafting and traditional spinning wheels. Her weapons include a spindle, 2 weaving hooks, and a distaff. Her magic abilities manifest with supernatural lace-like patterns, blending the traditional.
I had to pause it real quick. The girl that's doing the voice,
Yeah.
she was in that short-lived show that Sci-Fi did called Vagrant Queen.
Is that where it is?
That's her. I told you I recognize her. She was also apparently in the game and also on several episodes of Chicago Fire. But she is apparently an actress and also a biomedical laboratory scientist.
Those are two.
Apparently does voice
very-
acting. Yeah.
Two very widespread.
Yeah. Pretty wild. Definitely two very different aspects to go into. So what are your thoughts so far on this one? Like I said, the only thing I'm having an issue with was that one cutscene. It's because of the art style they picked. I don't think it's the direction or the voice actor or anything like that. The art style they picked, I'm just so used to cutscenes where characters look too much like us that, every nuance of facial expressions to convey emotions are there. Those just, to me, it just seemed like something was missing.
Maybe. I mean, it looks like they used a little less motion capture with this.
Yeah.
Or as facial goes. I like the idea that they're going into like traditional folk magic.
Yeah.
That is something even more far-fetched.
Well, the interesting thing too is to go to the south. There's a whole lot of mythos, especially in the bayou, that I don't think that this is definitely a realm of storytelling. I can't think of anything that's really ever gone into.
Correct. It feels original.
I mean, only thing I can think of off the top of my head that even touched a little bit into kind of some of the mythos of the magic and everything that is New Orleans in that area would have been American Horror Story Coven, because the house was in the the bayou area, and it brought up the can't think of Kathy Bates's character, but she was a woman that freaking pretty much murdered slaves for fun.
Yeah, but I've not seen any games.
Oh yeah, no,
into
I
this
can't think
at
of
all.
Yeah, I can't think of any games.
I mean, there's plenty of storylines as far about that back bayou. There's plenty of movies and TV shows that dive into hoodoo, voodoo, and folk magic of that area, and even going up into Appalachia.
Yeah,
But
well,
I've never seen a game explore that.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Did you notice? Did you recognize the voice of the catfish creature?
No, not off the top of my head.
It's he's done. He's been in several Adam Sandler pictures. Heavier Set Guy.
Not You Can Do It guy.
No, not You Can Do It guy. This is God, if I could see his face. I see his face in my head. I just can't think of the actor's actual name. What were they calling that game? South of Midnight. I think it's him because he has a very distinct voice. South of Midnight. Go to songs. What? No, I want to see voice. Yeah.
Let's see here. Pulling up the IMDb on Isaiah. Isaiah Evans.
Hold on. I'm trying to get into it. I'm probably on the same page you are too. Photos. No, see, that's the children, as Isaiah. It's not showing the. Why is it not showing all of the voice actor if that's a main character? Yes, let's see.
Looking Majors, Isaiah Evans, Alan Ray.
No, they're putting a question mark, which is stupid. They even have Hazel as a question mark, which we just saw the girl that's playing the voice.
Yeah.
God, these websites are behind. Come on, somebody's got to have it. At least show me if I can at least find.
What was the character's name?
It's Catfish. Even this article is showing nothing. Seriously? Come on.
Wow, they've really got that under wraps, don't they?
I know it's his voice. God, why can I not think of the person I'm thinking of? Oh shit! I know which movie I can find him in is, but I'll show that way you can see who it is. Now I remember the voice that he actually portrayed. Basically the voice he's doing the catfish is the same voice. It's crap. I just drew a blank on it. What was the movie George Clooney with? It was based on the Odyssey. The one where the song "Man of Constant Sorrow" comes from.
Yeah. Are you talking about the guitar player?
No. It was give me a second here.
Walt Roberts?
No. It was the movie George Clooney where it had George Clooney.
Yeah. So I just found a thing. I believe the actor's name is Walt Roberts.
All right, hold on. I got to figure out which. Oh, brother, where art thou?
Yeah. Oh, brother, where art thou?
Okay.
I don't think he was in it.
So no, the cast. We're going to. Where is he? Oh, was it Tim Blake Nielsen? No, where is he? The Pappy Stash. It's not even showing him on this. Come on, man. He was the main character. He was the guy running the radio.
The blind dude?
Yes. And he's been in a crap ton of stuff. But even on IMDb for this movie, it's not even showing him, even though he's he's a character in it. He just wasn't a major character. Stephen Root. That's his name, Stephen Root.
Hmm. I'm not even seeing him listed here.
Yeah, Stephen Root. He played the wussy guy in Dodgeball. The one whose wife always said gave the L to him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was. And here's a kicker. He also played the voice of Bill Delacroix de la Fond d'Autry. So now you know what I'm talking about. That's Catfish.
Yeah. So I found something, and now granted, take the source, it was a Reddit post, but it says South of Midnight show, Catfish's awesomely folksy voice actor, Walt Roberts. Now, Walt Roberts is an actor also. He did quite a few back in the day. He was in Walker, Texas Ranger. Let me pull here.
Yeah, Parkland, The Leftovers, Hellion.
Yeah.
I don't think it's him. We'd have to hear his voice.
That's well, like I said, once again, take the source. It was a Reddit post. So take that with a grain of salt, but it's the only one I found that mentions a name.
All right, hold on right here. Okay, here we go.
I don't know what we're going to do. I've got 2 kids. Well, we're all fathers. You, me, the police officer your brother shot point blank.
But it didn't. I'm stubborn, I guess you could say.
Hit a wall, is that right? Stubborn and stupid?
I'm working on it.
It ain't the same voice.
You reckon I caused any permanent damage?
You think you're the only hot-blooded, stubborn guy in North Texas? Nah. You'll be fine. Maybe
See, even if he changed his draw, he's got a higher tone.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last tractor
Yeah.
today.
Now watch
Pay
this.
attention and look real close. It is a John Deere.
What is it?
Harvester. They're hard to find.
Radio.
Call something when you find them.
Oh, brother.
This is a little different story. We've been selling a lot of tractors, and I'll tell you what, that's a farming machine right there. And how many dollars here?
Wow.
But what's really interesting to me,
We're the Soggy Bottom Boys out of Cottonelle, Mississippi. Songs of salvation to salve the soul. We hear that you pay good money to sing into a can.
Well, that all depends. You boys do Negro songs?
Well, sir, we are Negroes, all except for the fellow that plays the guitar.
Yeah, well, I don't record nigger songs. No, I'm looking for some old timing material. You see, people can't seem to get enough.
See the rasp and the deepness?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's him.
What's interesting to me, though, and we've had this discussion before, not on here, but it seems though that they only want to portray who the main characters are.
Mm-hmm.
And only point out those people.
Yep. Well, I hate to kind of be the asshole in the room, but I always am kind of the asshole in the room. Did you notice how even the video about that studio really only let a certain group of people talk and a certain group of people take the camera time? It is definitely, hate to say it, it is probably very activist funded in a sense. It's drawing only one path.
And I don't understand it because you can allow, there's nothing wrong with letting the particular group of people take the lead. Nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, I'm happy that this is showing a protagonist that is offbeat, if you will. It's not the standard.
Well, it's because for some reason they never can. Nobody seems to grasp the ideology. Well, not the ideology, but they don't seem to get the point that if you want things to change and you want things to get better and you want things to be equal, everything needs to be displayed equally. By doing things like this, you don't think people aren't going to notice. They are, because you're making it as something to be noticed.
Yeah.
I always come back to the simple thing with Morgan Freeman said it the best way. How do you get rid of racism? And his response to the interviewer was perfect. How about you quit referring to me as a black man, and I quit referring to you as a white man? There you go. It's done.
And I sent you a video earlier today. I don't know if you ever had a chance, but it was an interview with oh my goodness, brain fart, Red Hulk.
Harrison Ford.
Thank you, Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
It was an interview with Harrison Ford. And the interviewer, I hate to say it, pushes the narrative of, well, how do you feel? And they're her exact words. How do you feel about playing with Black Captain America? That was her exact words. Harrison Ford says, he's just Captain America.
Thank you.
Maybe the second one, but he's just Captain America. He's
exactly.
Why do you have to point that out? And Harrison Ford did it very tastefully and shut her down, saying, "Look, there's no color. Why are you focusing on color when there doesn't need to be? He's Captain America.
And
he's the second iteration of Captain America."
Well, it's because it comes down to the sad part that the people arguing for equality and to end races are the biggest racists in the room. Because all they see and talk about is racism, and I don't get it. Like, I never ever saw any of my friends growing up for their skin tone or their religion. It's like, yeah, John was black, but I didn't say that's my black friend John, or I have a black friend. I go, no, that's Crack Man. And then they be like, why do you call him Crack Man? Because he was the only one of us dumb enough to try crack. That's why. And
it's like when I was growing up, one of my best friends in high school, name is Marietta. Ditziest, blondest person I knew. She was a woman of color. But did I ever say, no, I'm like, Marty, think about it.
Because that's what people don't get. It's like I think that's like we were talking about the other day, is like, that's another reason why I hate when they sit there and they use the term boomer. It's like the boomer generation did see all that.
Yes.
He grew up at the end, the height of segregation and the end of it. It's like I hate being associated with that group because my generation never did. We were already there at the end of it. We didn't care about any of that. We didn't care if you were gay. We didn't care what you if you identified by the way, ladies and gentlemen, time to get offended. The only 3 things of that community at the time, because even the T really wasn't talked about, are a big shit. It was literally just LBG. Nobody cared. Like a few people would be uncomfortable. I mean, we had this kid named Bam that showed up, and I forgot where he moved to Texas from, but definitely he was not from Texas. Shows up walking in one day wearing full on freaking, literally all he was missing was the wig and the dress for drag. And you would not believe, I have never seen that many big football players get that uneasy. And I'm just sitting here looking at all of them like, are you hiding something? Is his outness making you afraid yours is going to come out too? It's like, and I love the guy. I mean, he was an amazing person, but him and his dad ended up getting run off the road. And after that, they moved. But for the most part, if you weren't as flamboyantly out there as he was, nobody cared. Nobody gave a shit what you did behind closed doors. Nobody gave a shit what race you were. Nobody gave a shit what religion you were. So for anybody listening, if you're younger, don't call Gen X boomers. We're not fucking boomers. We're nothing like boomers.
No.
We're the kids that the boomers left outside to play and forgot about. It's like,
we had to figure this shit out on our own.
Yeah. It's like, we were not racist. We were none of that shit. It's like, you idiots are the racists, and you're just as, in fact, you're even more racist than the goddamn boomers, because I've heard words come out of white people's mouths saying they're against racism, and ideologies come out of their mouths that were way more worse than any boomer I ever heard say shit. So, yeah.
The closest I would say that Gen X came to racism would be due to 9/11. That's as close as Gen X and the elder millennials.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even say it was every generation that was old enough to know what the hell just happened. And it wasn't because they were racist. It was because the people that did it came from there. We have a lot of people here from there. We didn't know who we could trust anymore. And literally everything that had hit every other country in the world but us finally hit us, and nobody knew how to handle it. They really didn't. They didn't know how to process it. They didn't know if they could trust their neighbor anymore. I mean, so much so that the government used the fear to pass the Patriot Act, which literally, to most people's unwilling knowledge, stripped Americans of every fucking right they had. And ladies and gentlemen, if you think they got rid of the Patriot Act after they didn't.
No,
and by the way, for the idiots out there that think Snowden was a 100% traitor, no, he exposed that the Patriot Act shit was still going on, but even worse. Was it right what he did? No. Did it need to be done? Yeah. Did it probably hurt a lot of lives by the downfall of all the agents that got exposed? Yes. So what he did, I agree with. The path of how he did it, I don't. But to charge a man for treason when literally his oath was to protect America and protect the people of America, he kind of did honor that oath. You know, his oath wasn't to protect the 3-letter agencies. It was to protect the country as a whole.
Exactly. And for those who don't know what the Patriot Act did, because, there may be younger generation, Patriot Act literally allowed the government to start wiretapping everything. This is where they started listening to phone calls. Any keywords got queued up, they started listening to your phone call. This was also during the early birth of the internet, chat rooms and so on. They'd start tapping into the chat rooms. They'd start tapping into emails. They had control over all communications and were allowed to basically spy on you, and you had zero say about it.
Yep. The true coming forth of Big Brother.
Yeah.
That's our political rant for the night evening. Ladies and gentlemen, All right, let's get back to this. This is Sandfall Interactive, so I have here's a new one as well.
Bonjour, everyone. We are Sandfall
Barcelona?
Interactive, and welcome to our manor.
Ooh, that's pretty.
No, that's
We are a small studio based in Montpellier, France, working on our first game, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. It's a turn-based RPG set in a fantasy version of late 19th century Belle Epoque France.
Here we are.
Our grand adventure in game development actually started as a solo passion project. I wanted to create something like the JRPGs with turn-based combat I grew up with and loved, but that fully leveraged the latest tech, refreshed the genre with new features, and took place in a compelling world. I knew I needed help to realize my dream. First, I turned to a programmer I knew would get it.
Guillaume and I started trading ideas right away, and that quickly turned into trading files back and forth. Soon, I was creating the first prototypes of the reactive turn-based system, combining real-time offense and defense element, and a cinematic battle camera system. Things really clicked when we tested the first version of those features. We felt we had something both challenging and fun.
As Tom and I went back and forth and iterated on game elements, a vision started to come together, and I shared it with an old friend from university.
Guillaume and I are both passionate gamers, and when he described the project, I quit my job the following week and joined the team without hesitation.
Yeah, so these guys
because
all
I
went
believe
all
that
in.
in video games, success always starts with a strong creative vision. And we had that, defined by 3 core elements. A story with great emotional depth, gameplay that innovates on the classics we love, and a world that is completely original, beautiful, and immersive. We founded Sandfall Interactive on these tenets: a group of friends with a shared vision and the drive to make something great.
And I like the return to turn-based games.
Core to every great RPG is a compelling story. And Guillaume and I spent 4 years intensively developing and refining ours.
Damn.
And that started with the hook. 67 years ago, a massive slumbering paintress and a monolith appeared with no warning. Once a year, the paintress wakes and paints a number on her monolith, and everyone who has passed that age is erased. Every year, that number ticks down, and everyone dies younger and younger. Expeditions depart to kill the paintress, determined to fight until their final breath, but none have ever returned. Our story follows Expedition 33.
Expeditioners, we honor your dedication.
Guillaume and I knew early on that we didn't want to focus on good versus evil. What's interesting to us are people who, yes, are flawed, but who care deeply about each other. And conflicts arise because they have different perspectives on what needs to be done.
I'm sorry about earlier.
We wanted our story to feel dark and mature, with adult characters who feel like real people with real experiences.
I'm always missing something that everyone else just gets.
The heart of the story is about overcoming an existential threat while struggling with loss and grief. And it's rooted in the characters' relationships, both to each other and to themselves.
What are we gonna do, huh? Tell me. What are we gonna do?
In a world like this, how does one stay hopeful or make peace with their fate? What duty do we owe to each other or to ourselves?
So that's April 12th. They already got a release date. Damn. Game Pass, Xbox Series X and S, PC and P. Oh, that's coming out on everything then. That one, I think we're definitely gonna have to keep an eye out for. That one shows some promise.
Yeah. And we're only, a month away?
Yeah. Yeah, a little over a month. Let's see here. What final one? I already know who this is just by the artwork. Go. id Software.
Hello, and welcome to Dallas, Texas, home of id Software, where more than 30 years ago, a
Oh, they were
small
in
team
Dallas?
of game developers helped define and set a course for first-person shooters.
That
A lot has
explains
changed
a
since
lot,
then,
though.
but our team is as passionate as ever. And the most important values at the core of our games, innovation, craftsmanship, and performance, remain a priority for us to this day.
And as you're about to see, those values are infused in every aspect of this latest installment in the legendary Doom franchise. It is an honor to work on this game, to carry on its tradition of creating all-out, groundbreaking levels of fun.
So now, we're excited to share with you a look at our most ambitious game yet. This is Doom: The Dark Ages.
That was so stupid, I mouthed the words. In Doom: The Dark Ages, you will feel like the superweapon in the center of a medieval war against hell. Set in a cinematic sci-fi fantasy world full of locations to explore, powerful weapons to unlock, and enemies to conquer. This is a prequel to Doom 2016, and that's given us the opportunity to reimagine every aspect of this experience. So if you're new to the franchise, then Doom: The Dark Ages will be the perfect entry point into the series. And if you're a longtime fan, then you'll be proud to see, in a lot of ways, the feel of the game is really a return to form. So let's break it down, starting with
God,
the
I can
combat.
only imagine what the hell this is going to do to a PC.
In
because
Doom Eternal, you felt like
even
a fighter
Eternal
jet.
at full
In Doom: The
settings,
Dark
very
Ages,
few
you'll be an
computers
iron
can run
tank.
it right.
Heavy, strong, but still fast. A grounded combat system with an emphasis on power over the acrobatics of Doom Eternal. And a balance between enemy projectiles and player movement speed that makes strafing to aim viable again, just like in the classic Doom games. But it's not all about nostalgia. Innovation is the goal, always. And so for Doom: The Dark Ages, it's an all-new world with new tools and new mechanics to master. Let me introduce you to the Shield Saw. Block. Throw. Parry. Deflect.
So
All
basically,
from
you're the
one
hell
input.
version of Captain
It's
America.
contextual. Tons of depth on a single button press. You know, we want every Doom game to stand on its own as a unique experience. So in 2016, we asked you to run and gun. In Doom Eternal, it was jump and shoot. And in Doom: The Dark Ages, you're gonna stand and fight.
Basically, in this one, you get to be the tank.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice.
And the Shield Saw will give you the strength
The only
to
reason
go
I can't really
head-to-head
get
with
into
some of the
Eternal too
biggest,
much is
baddest demons we've ever created.
games
in
that do too much to the platform jumping, backing down.
That's not all.
I'm
Because if you're going to
my
stand
older,
and fight, then
as
you
I get
got to have
older, I
something to
get
follow up
those
that opening parry with.
too much.
How about an iron flail? Or maybe an electrified gauntlet? Or even a Doom spiked mace? That's right, we have 3 melee options that are part of a melee system. All on one input, complete with
Nice.
combos and upgrades. And it's totally awesome. And you can finish off the demons now with an all-new, unsynced, completely in the player's control glory kill system. From any angle, in and out, as you see fit. And it feels amazing. You'll feel unstoppable, smashing your way through the horde with total freedom. And that seems like a ton, but that's just 2 inputs. We got one more really important button that we haven't talked about yet. The trigger. That's right, we've saved the best for last. Doom has and always will be all about the guns, and Dark Ages has some of the most ridiculously powerful weapons that we've ever created.
I love that they acknowledge that all the time.
Mean.
Yeah.
Ancient. Brutal torture machines built to butcher, impale, and shred the minions of hell with. Only in Doom. That's the mission statement for the
Okay, yeah, I'm
design
getting
of these
it.
never before seen, insanely fun to use tools of mayhem that only the Slayer has the power to wield. So let's take a look at some extended
Imagine if they made
gameplay
this
footage and see
Like,
how these
imagine
medieval
if they made it
mechanics
multiplayer.
synergize with the enemies and the environments to form the new combat loop for Doom: The Dark Ages.
Well, I don't see why they haven't made something like Doom multiplayer. I mean, Jesus Christ, wasn't it id Software involved with Quake?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Quake literally was one of the multiplayer games that started that type of multiplayer game.
Well, see, I could see doing this as multiplayer co-op.
Yeah.
And under the hood, for the first time in an id game, we've made our combat more approachable and flexible than ever before, with a new difficulty system and sliders that will allow players to tune the speed and challenge of the game to whatever fits them best. You can slow things down or speed them up. It's a Doom for all Slayers.
And the gameplay doesn't end with just the Slayer. We finally have for you, you've been waiting for 2 games now, to get in and pilot your very own 30-story Atlas, which is a mech. It's the size of a building, it's powerful, and you can beat giant Titan-sized demons to death with your gauntleted fists. And if that wasn't enough, we also have for you your very own fire-breathing, Gatling gun-toting cybernetic dragon. Neither of these are one-and-done features either. They have a full suite of abilities and even mini-bosses. The spectacle is epic. The power fantasy is unlike anything we've made it in. And the combat systems behind these features are deep and tons of fun. And as cool as all that is, we know that fans of single-player action games expect more than just great combat to pull them through the experience. So we're excited to share with you not just the gunplay, but the world of Doom: The Dark Ages. Your hero's journey will take you to the far reaches of the Doom universe. Mysterious worlds from the Slayer's past, dark forests, dungeons, ancient hellscapes, battlefields, and worlds beyond. And through exploration, you'll be unlocking new abilities and godlike powers every step of the way. Now armed with your trusty shield saw, you're gonna cut, leap, and smash your way through environments full of secrets and treasures. There's always something new waiting to be discovered or destroyed. Now let's take a closer look at just one of the many missions you'll experience in Doom: The Dark Ages. In this level, you will meet the enemy at the gates and save a city from certain destruction. Explore the medieval battlefield outside the castle walls, seeking out targets and enemy formations along the way to engage with as you see fit, with any gun you choose. Explore what is the largest play space ever in a Doom game, discovering secret caves and dungeon-like mines in search of vital resources. You control the pace of the game, where you go, who you fight, and the objectives you pursue. It's a Doom sandbox full of war and riches. Once you've broken the enemy assault, head back to the main gates because the battle isn't over yet. And the soundtrack to your epic adventures will be composed by the award-winning team at Finishing Move, providing you with a metal soundscape that's loaded with guitars, medieval vibes, and pure adrenaline. You'll feel like you're expanding the legend of the Slayer with every mission you complete. And speaking of that legend, the story of Doom: The Dark Ages, like everything else in the game, is big. It's a summer blockbuster event with everything on the line,
I'll be back real
and
quick.
you are the star of the show. Your power is coveted by your enemies and withheld from your allies. With the Slayer imprisoned at the start of our story, the balance of power between good and evil is shifting, and time is running out. It's a new story and the perfect entry point for new players. It's easier to access now as we've taken the narrative out of the codex and into the cutscenes, featuring new characters, old allies, and powerful new villains. And for returning players, it leads directly into the Doom 2016 Slayer's Testaments. It's an action story worthy of the Slayer's legend.
We've got 10 years of making modern Doom games together, and we've done better with every game we've made.
The hope with all this, the goal, is to give players an experience that's as fun to play as it was to make, and make something that's good enough to become the best game id has ever made.
But that is for you to decide. When Doom the Dark Ages releases,
Nice. Definitely a nice upgrade to the Doom series.
Yeah, it's definitely a good one. I mean, everything of these is looking badass. Yeah, definitely something to keep out for. I am going to mute myself, ladies and gentlemen, and give Shark the helm because this is our content creator spotlight for this episode.
All right. So, if you ever were a kid and liked playing with BB guns, then this guy is right up your alley. This is a gentleman named Andy. He's out of the UK, and his entire channel is dedicated to air guns, whether that be your old Red Ryder Springer or a PCP full-on hunting air gun. This guy does reviews of it all through the UK, and the information he's able to put out on these weapons is very detailed, and he gives a very no nonsense approach to how he looks over a weapon, does testing on them, and it's also fun to watch him just kind of nerd out over specific ones he ends up liking. But he's done air guns even all the way up to the 50 cal Texan, which a lot of people may not know. There is actual PCP air guns that shoot a 50 caliber bullet, just a slug by itself, and they are for hunting. They're for big game hunting. Well, let me define big game, like large deer. We're not hunting elephants with these, but definitely some of these will, you can go hog hunting or whatever. But if you just want to sit in the backyard and plink, he's got information on those too. And as you can see over here on the left there in that red little thing, he even goes into the difference between airsoft, air gun, and BB, like differences in those things, and very detailed, and I quite enjoy watching on how just have it on in the background a lot of times when I'm at work and just need some noise, and hope y'all will enjoy them as much as I do. Looks like Wolf's not going to be back just yet. But, okay. I was going to say we're going into the shows that are coming out this March, which is as of today. We got new shows coming out.
Yes, there is definitely quite a list. So right now we're going to hop over to, sadly enough, I'm not a big fan of this publication, but they do have honestly the most up-to-date accurate list because this came out February 28th. So we're going to hop over here to the Hollywood Reporter's site, and these are the TV premiere dates for 2025. And we are just basically going to go over here for March. So for March, you've got 9 bodies in a Mexican morgue, which I am not familiar. I have not heard anything about that. Of course, the Oscars are tomorrow night. We won't even get into the Cockamamie Bukaka that has half of the things that are nominated because they're utter crap. I've got a few things I'm hoping to win, but we'll see. So out of these big ones, we'll just skip the. I'm not going to mention all of these because some of these are stuff I know none of us are really interested in. But March 4th, we've got Daredevil: Born Again on Disney Plus. It's coming out. We've got The Amazing Race. Wow, The Amazing Race is still going. Jesus, what are they like? Number 32 now?
At
They've
least
got to be like close to the 30s or in the 30s.
Yeah.
Now. So that's March 5th. March 6th looks like there's a few things coming out that I'm not familiar with any of these. Yeah, so far for the beginning of March, I'm not seeing a lot of the big stuff that I watch. You got The Righteous Gemstones. The final season starts on March 9th.
There's one right there that I'm not sure you're going to mention it or not, but on Netflix, The American Manhunt for Osama bin Laden.
No, I was about to. That's any documentary I'm down to watch. So yeah,
I'm not really big on them, but that's actually one I would want to watch because I lived through that.
Well,
in
yeah,
the military.
Yeah, well, I think we all lived through it, but yeah, you were in the military during that time. But no, I definitely want to know just because there's so much that has been declassified now that it's going to shed probably more insight into some of the stuff I've always wondered about, how it went down and what came about. But due to everything at that time, they couldn't talk about a lot of it. So yeah, you've got definitely that on March 10th. Sorry about that. March 12th, looks like a whole bunch of, not any of the titles. Those does not look.
Well, seeing as I see Lifetime, I'm like, no.
Yeah. Wheel of Time, I dropped out of watching it. Not regular Top Chef. I kind of quit watching that too. Music awards, family stuff. Jesus, really I was expecting more for March, man. We're already like halfway, almost to the end of it, and I'm not seeing a whole lot anymore. Like a lot of Cleanly, Missing Person, I've never heard of any of these. Side Quest, The Studio, The Connors. I'm sorry, I quit watching that show the minute Roseanne was booted off of it for dumb crap.
Okay, so this isn't up your alley, I guarantee. But that show Call the Midwife. If you like British, if you like that kind of 40s era British drama stuff, you'll like that one.
Right. Well, might as well check April then. We didn't have much there. Devil May Cry on Netflix, so I am interested in that.
Yes. See if they screw it up.
Yeah, no kidding. Midnight Lazarus on Adult Swim looks kind of interesting.
Yes.
One of the more darker ones. Handmaid's Tale, since it is the final season, I'll probably start watching it from the beginning just because I've heard a lot of people I think weren't going to like it, did like it. So, it is kind of up in the air. But now that's going to end, I might as well watch it and catch up. Doctor Who gives a shit? It's the last season where it's the shitty Watwa or whatever he wants to call it, Mr. I fucked the entire franchise 10 Ways to Sunday. So much so that this is going to be the last season because they canceled it. And the only reason they're putting it out is because they finished it and they put money in it and they've at least got to recoup some of the losses in ad revenue.
Disney should have never gotten a hold of that. The BBC should have never let it go.
Well, not only should the BBC have never let it go, they should never have brought back the jackass that wrote these 2 seasons. He did great with Tenet, but even near the end of his tenure there, you could tell that he was all about activism. And the problem is, you can be about activism if you know how to write a good fucking story. But the problem is, these assholes get so sucked into this cultic mentality that the
Make it subtle. Don't
they
throw it in
don't.
people's face. Make it subtle. Make it worth the story.
Exactly.
And I'll be behind it.
Or,
but
okay.
whenever you're like, just like, do what I say. No.
Yeah.
Get fucked.
All right. This would be a perfect time to have the video, little 30-second video I wanted to create, but I haven't had a time to create it. So I am literally just going to say this right now. This is a warning. This is a 15-second preemptive warning of a trigger warning. If you are easily offended, fuck off from listening to the next part. So here's my take on Doctor Who on all this shit. You have a show that has come and gone, been canceled, come back, been canceled, come back, but has over a 60-year history. And the very first episode you decide to bring, and we're not talking the special that he, transmuted and popped out of David Tennant's ass and hit with a magical hammer and boom, another fucking TARDIS bullshit. I'm talking the first episode of his season. He starts it by running into a Bobby. The Bobby mentions something about it. I even forgot how it started, but literally his first sentence is talking about how he just came from a very flamboyantly gay party and participated in a snowball. So you literally start a family show by talking about a gay sexual act. Go fuck yourself. That's not what you do. You had them flamboyantly go out there and say, we have the first gay kiss in Witcher history. Who gives a shit? You could have just had it play out. No, they had to be activists. Okay, big whoop, you had a gay kiss. We've seen those in shows. I don't give a shit. I've seen gay sex in shows. Don't give a shit. But you would think if you're going to put it out there that you're so proud that you just did this landmarky, groundbreaking thing, it would be with a good character. But no, in The Witcher Blood Origins, the gay kiss is done by the character who 10 seconds earlier just murdered hundreds of innocent people.
Yeah. Let's try to make the villain relatable.
Exactly. And the worst one of all.
Yeah.
Amelia Perez.
I'm sorry. Basically, they took Hitler and gave him a kitten.
Oh, Amelia Perez is worse.
Oh.
A third of the movie is the guy being the guy. Then he decides to snip the meat in two bits and go through his transition. And then spends the last quarter of the movie doing altruistic things and being this great hero. Let's forget that he starts the movie as the head of a fucking cartel.
Oh, but he's redeemable.
Butchering and murdering anyone that gets in his way. Abandons his wife and his kids. And let's not even count the fact that if you're the head of a cartel, we're not even just going into the people you physically killed yourself or ordered the death of, but let's not count the thousands upon thousands of ODs you're responsible and all the lives you've destroyed. But because you're now, Mr. Potato Head popped it off and decides to go do great things with other people at the end, it's supposed to make up for the fact that for most of your life, you were a drug-dealing, murdering piece of shit. Don't even get me started on the fact that it's a movie about Mexicans where there's only one Mexican in the entire fucking film. Yeah. If you want to watch a movie that's way better than it, I suggest you go into Google and search Amelia Perez parody and watch I think it's Reina Baguette or something is what it's called. It was basically the Mexican people were not too happy that a French man made a film of this nature about them, not using any of them. So they decided, the Mexican people that were very upset about this, decided to make a parody of his film of a bunch of French people working at a baguette shop, and even the women have mustaches. And I think it's a better film with better music, honestly.
Touche.
All right. That is the end of the trigger warning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get back to this.
Right.
All right. So we have The Last of Us coming out on the 13th. It's going to be the make or break season on that one. It really is. I know a lot of people are burned out on Pedro Pascal because he is the it guy right now. But if they keep the second season of this show kind of leading into the end of the end of the game, the series, and follow into the second game, this is the season that's going to make a lot of people fucking cry. If they stay true to the games. I don't know what government cheese is, but just by the name and it's Apple TV, I'm kind of curious. And then finally, yes, on April 17th, the two shows I've been waiting for. The Leverage crew is back with Leverage Redemption. I loved the TV show Leverage. It was a damn good premise of a show. What happens if you take the best criminals in the world and use them against the rich and powerful and gain leverage against them? Great premise for a show. Great way to really do it in real life if you wanted to, rather than, walking up behind a CEO and double tapping them in the street.
So one you skipped there, though, and maybe it's
Which
because
one?
you haven't seen it yet, but the little bits I've seen looked really good. Godfather of Harlem.
I was wondering, the title alone I was kind of curious of.
It's about Bumpy Johnson.
Oh, shit.
Forrest Whitaker plays Bumpy Johnson.
Okay, I got to check that. All right, that's going on the list.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely going on the list. All right, this is the one I've been waiting for. Law and Order Organized Crime. That, in my opinion, right now is the best of the Law and Orders because it is just Stabler being Stabler, and it's badass. And you have everybody that you like from all the other Law and Orders popping in from time to time. I mean, the only thing that would be better is if they could convince D'Onofrio to come back for Criminal Intent.
I don't know if that's going to happen.
No, he won't. He already said that the demanding nature of that role took too much out of him. I mean, that is kind of the hit or miss you take when you decide to do a show with someone who's a metaphoric actor.
Well, not
Which is
to
why
mention,
I'm kind of wondering how long he's going to last doing Kingpin, because that's got to be a rough one to play too.
yeah. Well, not to mention the stress of doing a Law and Order, the schedule that they keep for Law and Order.
Yeah. All right, and then we got the one that's going to be is Andor on the 22nd. So far, the one trailer that's out looks promising. I mean, have you seen it?
No, actually, I didn't. I don't think I've seen the for Andor. No, I saw the other one though that I didn't like.
Yeah, no, Andor, the trailer, how they did it, actually, it's a good trailer. It really is. If the whole season's going to be anything close to the trailer, I mean, it's got some promise to it. All right, we'll go through May and then we'll stop there. All right, May. This is the one I'm looking out for. May 4th, The Walking Dead, Dead City. Second season of this show. The first season I actually enjoyed. I know a lot of people were yay or nay about it. I look at it this way. I've always loved Maggie's character. And as it has progressed further and her son's gotten older, I really think Laura Cohen has really done a good job with that character. And it's Negan. I mean, Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Negan. And this is going to be Negan true to form because now he's being forced to work for somebody else, but they are expecting him to, like what they've showed of the just teaser, it's Negan all the way back to he now has a patched up version of Lucille. So, should be interesting.
Yeah, and the conflict between him and what's her name? Brain fart.
Well, Maggie.
Yeah, Maggie.
Or as they call her now, the widow.
Mm.
The interesting thing is, though, after the first season of this one, she's more conflicted with him because he just helped her save her son.
Yeah.
So and he saved her several times during that show too. So now the question is she going to be able to move on with her life even though after what he's done and just leave him to rot in New York? Or is her conscience and her son not going to allow her to leave him there to basically turn into whatever the fuck they're going to try to turn him into? Definitely an interesting one. And then all we got is basically award shows. And I'm sorry, I used to love watching AGT. I wait till the finales and I just watch like the recaps because truthfully, I love Heidi Klum. I still think Simon Cowell's funny on it. But this asshat needs to go. I am so fucking sick of Howie Mandel on that show.
Yeah.
He is not funny. And half the acts he put through are total dog shit. And I'm sorry, when you hear him make comments like, oh, I just don't think your singing was that great. Well, you've never worked in the music industry, so shut the fuck up, Bobby. Go fuck off. I mean, really, what has Howie Mandel other done? All he really has ever did in his life that was great was Bobby's World and fucking Deal or No Deal. That's it. Everything else, everybody forgets because it's all forgettable. Wow, there really ain't shit for May.
It's
Look at
kind of
that.
forgettable.
Look at it. May. That is May.
That's it.
Wow.
Well, I mean, they're probably it's gonna be the summer blockbuster type stuff. So,
well, yeah, and we'll go next podcast. I guess we'll go deep dive into some of the movies that are coming out in those time frames because normally when they do limited TV shows of that time in a month like that, that means that there's larger movies. There's other probably bigger movies that were in the theaters that are dropping. That's the downside with these streaming services. They're not only competing against other streaming services and the TV shows that the series that they're putting out. They've also got to make the space. Yeah, they've got to make the space to appease the studios to get the big movies.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we'll see. Things are either going to look really good or really bad, or who knows. Some of these shows may be amazing or flop, or there may be something that ain't even on that list that they're keeping quiet that'll just pop out of nowhere. So, as most people don't know, most people know us, but as y'all are watching a game know us, we haven't played in a little bit, but we are, for the most part, avid Star Citizen players when we have the time. But lately, a lot of the patches have been trying to force a lot of features in, and of course, when that comes with the territory, things get a little wonky and kooky. Now, though, 4.02, which as of when this video we're going to watch made 4 days ago by Dig That 32, talking about the new features and new implementations, a lot of things have kind of changed, and 4.02 is actually already dropped in the PU. So whatever they were working on, apparently it worked, and they didn't need to keep it in the test system for very long. So we're going to watch 2 videos by Dig That. One breaks down 4.02 in the state of the patch. And the second one we're going to watch and kind of discuss talks about a lot of the contested zones, things that are changing with the drop of it and the updates. And again, that one is also by Dig That 32. So before we get into both these, we'll talk there was a little bit of a controversy that hit Star Citizen. One of the bigger creators named Montoya released a video that was met with mixed reviews. And I kind of want to get your idea on it, Shark. He posed that there should be a split server system. That they should make a server that is basically just a PvE server.
So, as an avid WoW player, one of the things that WoW did to be able to allow people who were not great at PvP or didn't want to be bothered by PvP was that they allowed you to go into your settings and turn PvP on or off. Obviously, there's limitations to it. You have to be in certain areas to be able to do that. Can't be just, you can't be in the middle of a fight and be like, I don't want to lose and turn it off. But with the way that Star Citizen is set up, with it being a, multi-world, multi-job system, PvP is a quintessential part of the game. And if you are able to go in and turn off PvP, there's not enough PvE, I feel right now, to make up for it. So in some games where I would say, yeah, make it where you can not deal with PvP, there's no point to Star Citizen if PvP is not enabled. Because that's half the battle. Okay, you want to do shipping. You want to be a space truck driver, basically. Okay, but guess what? You got to deal with the road hazards. Those road hazards are bandits or whatever.
Yeah. I would think the same way, because I don't get why he would even suggest that idea, for the simple fact that in all the years I've been playing it, it's very seldom I've actually encountered an actual player starting shit. Not unless you're doing something like Jump Town, or you're in a main truck thoroughfare where it's drugs or illicit, stuff you're doing that makes a high profit. Really, I think the only reason people brought this up is because with Pyro now in the contested zones, you had a bunch of people that were probably bitching and whining because they didn't have a group of 20, 15 to 20 people to go jump in and hold a contested zone and get the executive hangar. And that's not really the game's fault. That's your fault for being a lame ass or an asshole and not having enough friends.
Yeah, and part of Star Citizen, a huge part of Star Citizen, whenever it is in full release, is going to be the fact that you need friends in the game.
Yeah.
You can't fly a capital ship by yourself.
Well,
you can't fly medium ships by yourself.
Yeah,
you
and
need an engineer back
just
there.
that. It's being PvE would ruin the immersion in the fact that it's supposed to be like real world if you were out on the fringes of the galaxy.
Correct.
So yeah, it definitely did not go over well. There were a lot of people that had issues with it. Salty Mike made a reaction video, which of course then Montoya had to respond to the reaction video. Yeah, it basically became, a pissing contest and people picking sides. And it's just like, really? If you want to go fucking play PvE and you want to go fly ships and do all that shit, go fuck off and play lame ass Starfield. Go suck the Bethesda dick.
For real. Because you know what PvE in Star Citizen is? That's PvE in Star Citizen.
Yeah, here's my thought on PvE and Montoya taking it to the level they did.
Yes, I completely agree.
Just a bunch of shit needing to be flushed out. So that was the little bit of controversy that hit the verse today. Well, in the last week or so. So basically, that's the sum of it. And you now heard our thoughts on it. Let's jump on over and check out what Dig That has to say about what are you playing in the background there?
Nothing. Sorry, I hit the wrong button there.
I was about to say that was weird.
I was trying to shut up the cicada. It wouldn't shut up.
All right, well, this is 4.0 explained by the State of the Patch by a friend of mine, Dig That 32. Give his channel a like, subscribe, check it out. Before anybody comments, it does not say subscribed on there because I am a monitor and channel member and big kahuna on his channel on my other YouTube thing. So this is being shown on ours for the podcast right now. So here's that, Dig That 32.
As most of us know, 4.0.2 isn't a feature-rich patch and is mostly dedicated to stability and bug fixing, as will be most of the incoming patches. We'll take a look at their progress with that in a bit, but first, let's take a look at the shiny new things there are to look forward to. As you might have heard, 3 more ships are making their way to the in-game dealerships for your credit grinding pleasure. The RSI Zoo ships are now available at Lorville, the Zoo CL 6.8 million, the Zoo CL 4.2. PTU prices don't often reflect what they'll cost in live, where they end up getting an adjustment. So we'll see where they end up with that. Starlancer Max is supposed to be in over at Area 18, but it's not yet. Once it is, when that happens, it'll be the first MISC ship that goes up for sale there. Supplier died, the grimy pyro version of Jumptown, except not
blow
exactly.
up when you hit
got
the thruster
options.
for too long.
If you go boost to the ground, you got a bum rush Xeno threat and other players to get to a resource that's in demand. But if you want to go the non-shooty route, you can also mine, trade, or salvage your way through it. The payouts are insane, upwards of 24 million credit.
Yeah.
But the supplies ain't free, so a big chunk of that will be recouping your cost. Still good money. There's also 3 hangar rewards that you can earn by accumulating points as you participate in the event. One of the rewards is a livery, which is enough to motivate your boy, because nothing makes your space whip feel like it got that new ship smell all over again, like a fresh paint job. It's good that CIG is keeping the content rolling despite the slowdown on features for the sake of diverting resources towards stability and playability. There's always been a lot of opportunities to forge new content with the available features, so glad to finally see that playing out. Speaking of playability, where they at with that? Falling through tram floors has been fixed. Load times aren't exactly quick, but they're a far cry from those long waits where you could watch a good chunk of Star Trek Lower Decks. So you still got time to grab a drink, but not enough to make a sandwich. Unless you're Azzy-Wrath and just eat plain meat and bread. Not gonna lie, I've been too scared to try this, but supposedly falling through the pyro outpost buildings has been fixed. I'm sure a lot of folks have just stopped going in the buildings, period. So may the force be with this fix. Random power drops in ship resource allocations are now good to go. Weapons appearing powered off but still firing, that's good now. So is docked ships clipping into stations. There's been improvement to abandoned ships getting cleaned up when they shouldn't, so more salvage for you. 890 jump missions not completing is fixed. Items falling off you like you all baby oiled up at the storage access points, then losing interaction when you try and pick them back up, that's fixed. Looks like all the quantum travel issues are remedied. Premature stopulation during travel, U-turning in the middle of travel, all good. These right here were PTU only issues, but the star map would sometimes be empty, or when they were working, you couldn't use the search bar, which me and I'm sure you too use 90% of the time. Plus you had to pixel hunt or use the shortcut commands to confirm the destination. All fixed up now. What is still being worked on, my friend? Elevators. This hasn't been an easy one to fix. In fact, I imagine this will take some real time. From a player-facing perspective, elevators are noticeably better, but how likely is that accounted for by it being in a PTU environment? On the developer side, looks like the elevators are now actually present, but the call button stopped functioning, which for the player, the result's the same. My personal experience has been that the elevators work more often than live, but sometimes you have to try a couple of them before you get to a good one. Also, sometimes the door will open, but with no elevator presence, so watch your step. The devs note that a lot of work has been done on this, but it'll remain a key issue to improve until they're happy with the result. I haven't had any issues with trains and shuttles myself. Maybe there's specific gateways, which I never use, but they're in the known issues listed as critical for never arriving. This is one that's been killing me since 4.0 release, but I could never get traction on the issue council reports. You leave boxes or cargo on your ship in the hangar, leave the hangar, it gets auto-stored or you stored it yourself. When you return to the hangar and recall your ship, your boxes and or cargo are now gone. Some thieves in a warehouse or something. In live, this mostly happens in Pyro and Pyro Gate, so just throw your boxes in the freight elevator if you decide to leave the hangar. There's also instances of that preventing use of the cargo grid. I've not seen or heard about that either, but it's on the list. Also, mission markers are missing in the tutorial, which blocks progressing through it. PvP missions not working, party members not appearing on maps, asteroids inside the jump tunnel, nice little fatal obstacle to navigate. I've had near misses with some right outside the exit. I haven't seen them in the inside, but outside the exit. Good way to get the adrenaline up. Failing a jump point, which places the player far away from the gateway station. Not really mad at that one. Jumping through a wormhole should have some stakes involved. Plus, it would give Starfarer owners an opportunity to earn profit like a good Ferengi. So if you didn't know, good old box missions, courier missions were originally returned in 4.0.2, but there was a problem with the boxes spawning and the missions were removed again. Shout out to the devs for going to the mattresses on the bugs. The known issue list at the beginning of 4.0.2 was longer than a Lord of the Rings credit roll, but there's a particular set of ships that it takes 0 particular sets of skills to enter. Anybody that has a hammerhead, 890 jump, Polaris, maybe any ship that has a station docking collar. Those ships can be accessed by anybody. My man Shiro has had his Polaris stolen twice in a day. I've had mine boarded with the doors closed while docked. My man Gotti got boarded while he was waiting at a jump gate. The whole sea is widely known just to let folks mosey on through the EVA door. $500 to $1,000 ships with less security than an Aurora ain't the ticket to confident purchases. So a little love in that department would be appreciated. Just as much as the issue with folks taking a leisurely stroll into ships that require docking, this also needs some immediate attention. I and a lot of folks have become too scared to leave the pilot seat in quantum travel for fear of falling through the floor and the ship leaving without you.
Again?
It doesn't happen every time, but it happens enough that it's a gamble that's best avoided. Doesn't seem to happen in the Polaris, at least not to me or anybody I've asked, but most other ships seem to have some kind of RNG that activates the Star Trek phasing cloak on the floors and you get yeetified into space. Hey, go enjoy those dope interiors or get yourself prepped during quantum rides when you in danger of falling through an invisible trapdoor at any moment. Unless you dying of thirst or hunger, just best to stay seated till you drop out of quantum to bite that soggy burrito that's been sweating in your backpack. Make sure you contribute to the issue council report so your game gets fixed. A lot of critical things get archived because one or two people will report them and either nobody will contribute or they'll create an identical report. So do your best to see if it's already been reported. Also, there's folks out there tagging reports as duplicates when they're not even close. I don't know if CIG gives them a cookie for the volume of reports they engage with, but it works against things getting fixed. Anywho, go ahead and shift your body so that you leaning on the other cheek while you watch this next vid for no reason. Big Cheddar Biscuit shout out to the executive producer, Patreons in the building, Eyes Open 2018, Lone Wolf and the Huntress. Thank you for all your support. Shout out to all the fam, Patreons, YouTube members, and super chatters. Appreciate you, boss. Fly dirty citizens.
Now, this one was posted late last night. This is kind of going to go over what, with 4.0.02 going live, change, dropped, what you lost, what you got, what you don't got, that sort of thing, again, by Dig That 32.
Hey, you. Good evening in the morning. It's Friday, February 28th, and we got a quick public service announcement regarding all that sweet loot and ships unviolated NPCs and players for in the contested zones, as well as what's been fixed, what hasn't, and what's new going into 4.0.2. Here we go. Players have been polishing their blood-covered rewards gained in the grimy pyro meat grinder, and now that we have a new patch right now, the question is, all that conflict treasure lost in 4.0.2 live? Yes, but kinda. Contested zone key cards, looted weapons, salvage their looted components won't persist into 4.0.2. It's all good though. That's not going to be an ongoing thing every patch. They've now been flagged so that now that 4.0.2 is in play, they'll be saved going into the following patches. So now that you a battle-tested veteran, you can go back with a particular set of skills and loot up knowing you'll keep what you take going forward. But good news, boppers, the ships you claimed in the executive hangar should persist. I mean, they did say should instead of will, so do with that what you will. So hopefully you're good to go in that regard. For everybody else, let's get the bad out of the way first. The known issue list is relatively small, so this will be quick. The elevators aren't mentioned in the known issues or anywhere in the patch notes. Entity carriage getting stuck is mentioned, but that could be for trains. In previous notes, the elevators are specifically mentioned, so we're just going to see on that. In the new supply or die event, if you have Datatrine containers that exploded on your ship, kick it out the airlock because it will blow up again when you quantum through servers and their state isn't updated on the handoff. Fast storage and retrieval of ships breaks the hangar. I don't know what fast storage and retrieval means. Is that standing at the terminal in the hangar spamming the buttons? Is that doing it from the terminals in a spaceport, which is faster than in the hangar where the animation occurs? If you know, those comments. There's a persisting issue with the Comrade repair contract becoming hidden when another player enters the mission area. PvP missions don't work. That's bounties. Party members not appearing on the maps. Okay, this one needs a little explanation. If player ungracefully exits while in the hangar stows and does not unstow upon recovery. By ungracefully, they mean anything other than logging out of the game through the menu. Alt F4, crashes, chopping your router in half with an axe after getting killed in pyro, etc. Asteroids in the jump tunnel, that's still there. Failing a jump point will displace the player far away from the gateway station. Let's go ahead and keep that so Starfarers can get that work. Okay, the fixes is incredibly long, so we'll just hit some of the major points. Getting stuck in the login queue at position 1 is fixed. Issue causing weapon to sometimes not fire, fixed. Quantum traveling will no longer stop mid-jump. Good. We'll see on that one. Advanced HUD should stop disappearing. Hauling rewards not being paid out. Surprising nothing else about hauling is here. We'll have to play through and see where it stands with the cargo not being counted, but hopefully that's good. Hercules should now be stable on its awkwardly placed feet. Random power drops gone. Cargo disappearing and locking the grid from stored ships should be good to go. Should be able to equip CZ components. Mining nodes being mineable, that should be good. Overjumping the space stations with quantum should be fixed. Freight elevators are no longer missing from RAB locations. Fuel amounts should get properly updated when jumping across servers. I got stranded on that one, so that's good to hear. Ground vehicles should spawn with the correct power to engines when you crank them up. No more slippery items falling off, losing interaction. Refinery dupes gone. C1 Spirit remote turret button fixed. Cuddy Red struts obstructing the views fixed. Disappearing weapons in the MSR weapon rack, good to go. 135C cargo bay should be clear now. Super bright lights inside the Misk Fortune should be good. Either my eyes have automatic dimmers on them or I've been lucky so I never really saw this. All right, so what's new? Well, like we've been told, this is the year for fixes, but also content. So no feature-rich updates for a while. Here's what we did get, though. The Zeus CL and ES are buyable at Lorville, 6.8 for the cargo variant and 4.4 for the Explorer, unless they rebalanced them, which they could have. Starlancer Max, now available at Area 18 for 8.8 million. Again, unless they rebalanced it. New ship compass with performance improvements, retuned to camera shake and vibration effects for ship flight in first person. They restricted the Heartseeker weapon and gimbal to only work on the Heartseeker mount. Misk Fortune had an LOD and art polish pass, as did the Guardian. One time I used the Guardian, kind of had a glass jaw. Did y'all experience the same thing? Guardian claim timer adjusted to 12 minutes or 3 minutes expedited. They moved the Starfarer MFDs down so it doesn't intersect with the advanced HUD. Be nice if there were more use for a Starfarer. Loading into the game should be quicker now. There's less cleanup and more salvage on ships, so get that money. If you haven't seen it, the new loading screen is a huge improvement. I ain't gonna spoil it for those who haven't, but CIG should just keep on doing this with new stuff. Last but not least, the new supplier die event where you can kick in whether you a fighter, hauler, or lover. So go ahead and jump in there, get your monies on, get your rewards that they offer, including a new livery. Anywho, that's been my PSA for the day. Be sure to check out this vid so you know what else is going down for the new patch. Big shout out to everybody showing support via Patreon, YouTube, and the Boss Supply merch store. Fly dirty citizens.
Man, sounds like they
a lot of work.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to fix. Huh. Man, well, definitely got to get back on the game soon and get up with some of the people that have been randomly hitting me up going, "Hey, are you still around?"
Well, it's interesting because I don't know if you've looked in the store recently, but they brought back a couple of the packages.
Which ones?
So they have the Praetorian pack.
Oh, the Praetorian's back on there?
For a whopping $15,000.
Oh yeah, that's nothing.
The Dominus pack, $6,400. Convoy pack, $3,500. You got your Tycoon pack, $2,500. Exploration Mega Pack, $1,700. Yeah, they've got a lot of packs. Escort pack with your Hammerhead. Yeah. Ultimate Explorer pack, 4 ships.
Oh, so you're saying the biggest you see is Praetorian on there?
Yes, I do see the Praetorian pack. Let me go into info and see what it's getting you. Ships in this pack: 890 Jump, Idris, Pioneer, Polaris, Hammerhead, 600i, Prowler, 600i Touring, Carrick, Genesis Starliner. Ooh, that one's pretty. Genesis Starliner, Reclaimer, Constellation Phoenix, Crucible, Endeavor, Merchantman, Orion, Starfarer, Caterpillar, Vanguard, Harbinger, how many constellations? Probably several. I see at least 2 to 3 constellations.
So basically, it's almost from what I'm seeing here, it is every ship that is currently in game.
At least.
No,
Well,
it
yeah,
is.
because I'm seeing cyclones, tanks, X1s, dragonflies, PT or buggies.
Yeah, there's only a few in here that aren't in the game. Like you don't have the Crucible, the Endeavor, the Merchantman isn't in game yet. The Starliner isn't in game yet. And the Idris M is not in game for us to fly yet. Like it's in game, but it's not technically a player available ship yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is basically pretty much almost every game, every major ship that you can fly, and a few of the rarer, the few of the industrial concept ships. But this still isn't the biggest. Are you counting silently or are you talking?
Silently. I'm already at 50 ships.
Yeah, but that's not the biggest.
No, I'm just counting numbers. There's got to be in that pack 60 plus ships. Plus you're talking all kinds of liveries, extra stuff like that. Name reservations, all kinds of stuff included in that pack.
Yeah, but still not the biggest.
Well, it's the biggest that they've got out there for the general public. This is not.
No,
this isn't me going into my concierge. I know your concierge is way bigger than mine.
No, the Praetorian pack that you're looking at is a concierge only.
Oh, really? I didn't think I was in my concierge.
No, when you take a look at the game packages and it pops up.
Yeah.
Notice how it has the little on the picture next to where it says Praetorian Pack Digital to the right of it. You notice how you have that little black hexagon?
Yeah.
With the head and pack? That means it's only showing it to you because of concierge.
Oh, the little pack, the black hexagon with pack.
Now, see, my screen shows one more before the Praetorian.
Ah.
You want to know what it is?
What's that?
$45,000. Like it's how do I say it? I always pronunciate this wrong. Legatus Divinium.
Yeah, I'm not that much of a whale right now.
Well, the difference with the thing about Legatus Divinium is it is every ship in the game. Every ship that is in concept, every ship that is a white box, soft box, gray box. And anytime they ever create a new ship, you automatically get it. You get land deed titles, you get base build. Basically, it's everything. You never have to buy a damn thing ever again. But yeah, Legatus Divinium has been around forever, but that was like that was the upper echelon back when the game started on Kickstarter. That if you wanted to basically buy the Super Whale package, but back then I don't think it was this high. It was still some stupid amount. But yeah, the sad part is you and I both know there are people out there that have probably bought that. None of them that we know. I know none of the people in the San Antonio group have because they wouldn't be buying any of the ships they talk about regretting buying because that would have already given it to them.
Yeah. But I mean, still $15,000 on a game. Now, I have spent money. I've been playing WoW since beta, and I have paid monthly fees. I have paid for expansions. I don't think I spent $15,000 in just 15 years. I don't think I spent that much on WoW.
Sad part is there probably is somebody that
20 year period. Huh?
There probably is somebody that has.
Probably because whenever they started doing the microtransaction stuff, a lot of people were buying stuff.
Yeah.
But nothing new as far as ships go here that like for purchase. I'm noticing that I need them to come out. I need them to fix my flying dildo though. Just fix it. That's all I want.
Well, I need them to actually come out with something that is really worth me actually buckling down and getting again, mainly because I am so close to the goal. I am 66% of the way to Wing Commander.
Mm.
And when I get Wing Commander, I get another FHC Lightning, but I also get the Shockwave paint that you can only get by hitting Wing Commander. They will never sell it. It's literally, and that's that badass black and green paint job you've seen in some of the videos.
Well, and you know what? I'm all about supporting this game. We've dumped money in, but I'm sorry, on some of these, on the merchandise side,
oh yeah,
I just don't get $55 for a T-shirt. You know, $30 or $30 for a T-shirt, a single T-shirt.
I will say though, the button-up Drake Interplanetary that I bought that I can't fit into yet because it runs small is actually a really nice shirt. It's like Dickies quality shirt.
I saw that, and there's one I've noticed. There's a UEE Navy jacket that looks real nice. $130 though. And I'm like,
yeah. Now the Zeus bomber jacket is actually pretty sweet. One of the guys in the San Antonio group has it, and I actually got to see it firsthand. It actually was a really nice jacket.
See, and that's one that we could do down here in Texas a little better because it's more of a windbreaker. It's kind of like my bomber jacket that I have with all like my military patches on it. And it's that style and quality, and $125 is not bad for a jacket. A little higher than what I want to pay right now, but not bad.
Yeah.
But I have to admit the Pico slippers.
Well, I mean, I already have my little piece of merchandise,
your little bobblehead there.
Yeah. However, though, I do kind of like the blackout hat.
But what's interesting is I'm actually right now my backpack that I use for work every day is kind of taking a dump, and they've got a nice one here that's probably right up the same price range as what I'm looking at for a new backpack anyway. So maybe I'll throw that in my mix.
Yeah, no, that is a pretty nice one. And then you got to remember, we're anytime the next event thing comes close to, they're going to kind of have some more stuff come out. They're always working on stuff. Like I kind of like even though we're going out of the colder weather, the problem is their sizing is just it's
runs Asian.
One day they run small,
runs Asian,
and they don't run tall either.
Yeah, and that's going to be a issue for me.
Yeah.
What's interesting though is like I don't see any of the limited edition things like the little patch that I have for the Benny Noodles. I've not seen that for sale anywhere.
The what now?
I have a patch for Benny Noodles from this game.
Where'd you get it at?
Well, at the meeting we went to last in Austin.
Huh. I don't remember that. I must have missed that one.
Sorry, I had to run away for a second, but yes.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah, Big Benny Noodles here.
Yeah, no, they only hand those out at those are only handed out to CIG people to give to people.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they've ever sold that. No.
But somewhere around I've got another one of these, which is still good till October of this year.
Oh yeah, the in-game reward thing.
Correct. Maybe we can maybe if we start getting enough subscribers, we we hit 100 subscribers or something before October, we can give it away as a
that's a thought.
Thank you.
But you heard it here, folks. If we get to 100 subscribers, we'll do a random live drawing, and if you're a Star Citizen player, that'll give you a neat little in-game item to put on your ship or your hangar that you're never ever going to be able to buy or find because they're only given out to CIG employees to give to people at the main CIG meetups.
And this is it right here, as you can see, unscratched.
Yep.
I was lucky enough to get 2 of them by accident. And so I have one, and here it is. We will give this away at 100 subscribers.
So that's pretty much what we had to go through today. I just want to kind of close out with us kind of just freelance talking about a lot of things that are coming down the pipe that we're looking forward to. I know I'm definitely looking forward to, I think the biggest 2 that I'm waiting on is Daredevil, because it is so up in the air on, is it going to be good? Is it not going to be good? Is it going to be everything that we're hoping, since, the Netflix shows got canceled due to the merger? I mean, it true to form, they brought everybody back, but there's been so many shows that have brought so much questionable shit into that universe. It's just kind of like, are they going to knock it out of the park, or is it just going to be forgettable? And that's my fear, is that hopefully it is not going to be forgettable, and we're going to get a true to form, back to the good shows that we used to have. That's really what I'm hoping for. Movie wise, I really haven't. None of the trailers I've seen ever anything has grabbed me to, I want to see that. Oh my God, that looks like it's going to be groundbreaking or amazing. And TV shows are just keeping up with some of the shit that's coming out. I mean, you got later this, what is it, June? I think is the date for the second part of the second season of Squid Game. There's so much anime coming out. Jesus, it's hard to keep track of which ones are going to look good and which ones aren't. What are you hoping for to see? What do you want to see that's going to look, that is going to be good? What are you hoping that's going to be good?
I mean, honestly, I haven't been watching a whole lot of television. I've been, I get my animes in, and that's about it. But as far as Daredevil goes, they have a unique opportunity to kind of go the route of Gotham with Gotham, because Marvel doesn't have a lot of TV shows right now. Like, ever since what was the one with Phil Coulson, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
They've been kind of quiet on the TV front. So, with on the DC side, as you've said before, Gotham was well put together, introduced correct characters and linked into the movie even. They have that opportunity with Daredevil. But the question is, like you said, are they going to do it right?
Yeah, and when it comes to Marvel, we've already seen that the new Captain America is bombing epically, and rightfully so. It just was not handled right. I mean, Anthony Mackie does an amazing Falcon, and they should just kept him as Falcon. I mean, really, it's too big of a shoes to try to fill too soon.
Like we were saying, offline, with the bombing of him as Captain America and him fighting Red Hulk, it gives the opportunity for Marvel to say, you know what, okay, that didn't work. We want to keep the Captain America character. Let's go with the other storyline where Bucky gets it, and have Anthony Mackie just say, his character go, you know what, this is too much on me. I can't continue to fulfill the role. I'm not a super soldier. Bucky, here, pick up the mantle.
But they won't, sadly. And then, Thunderbolts, we don't know where that's going to go. The big kicker when it comes to all of the comic book stuff that's going to literally make or break everything is, for Marvel, it's going to be Daredevil, and it's going to be Fantastic Four.
Yes.
Because Fantastic Four is the kicker to tie everything together and bring in the new phase 6 or whatever they're on now.
Yeah.
For DC, it's going to be Superman.
Yeah.
Because we don't know if we're getting the second Batman now. And that's all because, let's give the whole reins to James Gunn. Why they want to just give it to one individual is so fucking stupid. The reason phase 1, 2, and 3 were so amazing at Marvel is you had, the Russo brothers. You had a collaboration of multiple people working under the tutelage of Feige, reining the helm of Favreau, wrangling all these great writers, great producers, great directors to create a vision of a, what was it, 4-year fucking adventure. Why they do this stupid shit with DC? Oh, let's just give it to one fucking egotistical lying wuss. How does he start it? I'm going to make the stuff I liked. Okay, well, that's cool. I can't argue with that. But the stuff you like is shit that nobody fucking gave a shit to read?
Yeah. It's like, it's fine. Be a fan. Do the stuff you like, but do the stuff you like that people can relate to.
Yeah, and then you're gonna throw in storylines that were never in any of those kinds. You sit there and say you're a fan. You sit there and say you're about entertainment. But then you do something like Creature Commandos, which most people weren't even aware of what the fuck it was. And then you throw in shit into the storyline that never was there. Like the very first episode, you make these, I forget what they called the antagonist group, but they're pretty much a bunch of freaking soy boy meets Proud Boys. It's exactly what they were. They were a group of angry incels. And then on top of that, you turn Frankenstein into a cuckold incel. It's like, really, this is not what these characters were in the comics at all. It's like, if you're going to do it, do it. Don't sit there and hide your false virtuism in this bullshit. And then Gunn just lies left and right about things he always has. I mean, he's done some great films, but at the same time, he like half of everything. And then we had a great thing going with Patterson's Batman. The Penguin showed you what you could do with it if you took the time, you storyalized it, you made it into the crime noir it should be, to where the second Batman and this rated R Clayface production sounded damn good. I mean, you had the director that did Midnight Mass and all these great fucking horror shows, The Haunting of Hill House, Blythe Manor, all of these great shows. And now that's up in limbo, all not because Gunn doesn't think they're good. It's because he's afraid that it's going to overshadow the Batman he wants to make. And it all falls into Warner Brothers. They're fucking stupid. Warner Brothers and DC have never ever run anything right. That's their fucking problem. So Superman is going to make or break all of this. The only thing that they have showed that looks even remotely decent is the Lanterns movie or show. I don't know if it's a movie or if it's a series, but it's called Lanterns. And you literally have two of the Lanterns. You have Hal Jordan and John Stewart.
Okay.
Well, let me see if I can find it. I got to show you this because apparently you haven't seen it. It's basically just a photo. People were trying to figure out if it was real or not. And by the way, Microsoft Windows, whoever thought of this idea of when you move a window, if it hits the top middle, it wants to boop, 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 boop. Fuck that shit. It's annoying. I just want to move my window to the top without it wanting to create 9,000 other different variables.
Also, because I was at work today, Microsoft, put your shit together. Why the hell did Outlook go down? What the hell? I don't know if you knew about that. Yeah, Outlook was down for like a half an hour. Nobody could get emails for a half an hour today. Worldwide. You should not have that much control, Microsoft. I'm sorry.
Okay, so Lanterns is going to be a show, apparently.
Okay.
And they released this on Instagram. I'm trying to think. So DC's studio. God damn it. Why the hell did it have to? Oh, shit. Okay. So Lanterns at DC Studios is doing apparently a TV show, if I'm reading this correctly. Because go figure, the one it sent me is not in English. So we'll open up IMDb at the same time too, so see what it says about it. So yes, Lanterns follows new recruit John Stewart and Lantern legend Hal Jordan, the two intergalactic cops drawn into a dark Earth-based mystery as they investigate a murder in the American heartland. So it's a new take on that, But what is promising is Kyle Chandler is playing Hal Jordan.
Okay.
And Aaron Pierre is playing Jon Stewart.
Aaron Pierre. I'm trying to remember that.
Ruby, the Ridge movie that just hit streaming services. They both look like them.
If Aaron Pierre bulks up a little more. Yeah.
No, he is very bulk. That photo doesn't do justice. He is. And if you haven't seen the movie that was in, he was in, that's gotten great reviews, called Rebel Ridge, it's damn good. Like, he even shows his fighting skills, everything in it. Cool. Kyle Chandler's an amazing actor, and he does look like an aging Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
So this does look promising. I mean, just like we scroll down here, Superman does look promising with, him playing Luthor. As much people want to talk about it, he looks Guy Gardner. I mean, they look like and they're even rumoring him to be the Arrow. I mean, the look of the pick of the people do work. It's all going to come down again to
directing.
Is the story good or is it dog shit?
And the director,
yeah,
doing his job.
Just like is what's going to make or break again for Fantastic Four is how it looks, the tone and pace of it, and the story. I mean, there's a few things that are kind of concerning. Like, I got to agree, I'm not a big fan of Ben Grimm's voice as the Thing, because it just sounds like the normal actor that's playing him. Even when Chickless did it, there was a rasp to it. There was a deeper tone. There was, it would make sense that someone that goes from normal to twice their size, 3 times or 10 times their weight, there's gonna be a baritone shift.
Yeah.
So that kind of has me concerned. But then again, it's a teaser trailer, so they may tweak those audios in post. The Invisible Girl looks amazing. The powers they've showed in the trailer looked accurate to show you just the tidbit of how much of a strong badass she actually is in the comics. The torch is hit or miss. I mean, it's all just going to look at how he flies. That's a harder one until we actually see it in play.
Well, no, and I have to admit, whenever they did the Fantastic Four back in the day, with what's his name, who did Captain America, Chris Evans, but the character that he played him as was pretty good. That arrogant, like, early on Flame, whenever he's first getting his powers and he's just kind of arrogant, let's go do this. Yeah, I'm badass. He played that very well. I'd like to see some of that brought over in this to really kind of, encompass the full thing of him going from the, hey, I'm going to be the party frat boy, and converting into the, hey, I've actually got a responsibility to the world now. Person that he becomes.
Well, what's really gonna honestly make or break it is Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't look like Reed Richards.
No.
How they make the powers displayed is either going to be good or CGI shit. I mean, it all just depends. Honestly, out of everybody in Hollywood right now who is just aging naturally, I mean, that's another factor that they're not factoring in. How long are you going to have Pedro Pascal, if he does do a good job, play Reed Richards, considering Pedro Pascal's already getting up in age fast?
Yeah.
It would have been smarter to get somebody in their 40s going into 50s.
Let's see. Pedro is 49 currently.
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing is, if you take how how Reed Richards looks in the comics, take a look at this. Tell me Zachary Levi with his graying hair isn't Reed Richards.
Yeah. Yeah, that is more of a Reed Richards I would know.
That's more Reed Richards than even the 90s Fantastic Four Reed Richards was.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, with the Pedro Pascal route, instead of Pedro Pascal, I feel like they should have went Orlando Bloom instead of Pedro Pascal.
No, because build-wise, Bloom is a very skinny individual. And Reed Richards is tall and lanky, but he's not skinny. He's still got some build to him. Plus, Orlando Bloom is very tiny.
Yeah, he is kind of on
he's
the
only like
shorter side.
5'9".
Yeah, that is true.
And Reed Richards is supposed to be tall because he's taller than all of them.
Yeah.
Like you look at the comics, the way he's drawn, he is taller than all of them.
No, he's 5'11". Bloom's
Really?
5'11". But I think wasn't Reed Richards supposed to be like 6'2" or something?
Something
6'2",
like
6'3"?
Reed Richards was supposed to be tall because Ben Grimm was already a big dude and he was still taller than Ben Grimm
Yeah.
in the original comics.
Let's see. Reed Richards was supposed to be 6'1". Mr. Fantastic,
There you go.
6'1". So 5'11", 6'1", not that far off.
Yeah, but still it's the build issue.
He's bulked up a little bit. He's 48. He's putting on a few pounds.
Truthfully, the guy that played Reed Richards in the 90s movies, facially wise, they had to age his hair and gray it to make it look like Reed Richards, but his build was closer to the comic book.
Yeah.
In fact, Michael Chiklis's build was closer to Ben Grimm in the comic book too, prior to becoming the Thing.
Yes.
He was a stocky brute.
Yeah, and I liked him as an actor. I still like him as an actor.
One of the greatest shows ever made was The Shield.
Mm.
I mean, that was probably one of the first shows that had so many pivotal points and twists and turns that you never saw coming. That, like, I remember many episodes per season that I was sitting there watching it, and what would happen would just happen, and even I'd be like, "Holy shit!"
Mm-hmm. Just hit you out of left field.
Like the grenade in the car scene, I did not see coming, and that hit hard because I loved that character and Walter Goggins. The way he acted in that whole scene when it happened, I mean, my God. That showed that solidified him as an amazing actor right there. And even more so when he got into the show Justified. I mean, honestly, that's the reason I think Fallout was so good, was that it set the tone, it set the pace, it had the look, it had the feel, but his playing as the Ghoul made it. Like, if they did not have that character and him in it, I do not think that show would have done as good as it did.
True.
Oh. But yeah, it's going to be all just very up in the air on any of these. I mean, so far the teaser trailers are showing have a lot of promise, but we won't know till we get a full trailer. And then are we going to get stuck in the scenario the full trailer gives us everything that's great in the movie and the rest of the movie is just poop? You know? You never know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Well, that's it for this episode 4, man.
Yep. One more and we've officially made it into to 5 and can't look back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then we'll definitely get as we progress, get some more people join in. Hopefully, like we said, 100 subscribers, we'll give away something. We'll give away that pass for people that play Star Citizen. If you don't play Star Citizen, we'll come up with something.
Maybe a starter pack to go with it.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely want to try to keep, ladies and gentlemen, on every 2 weeks. It just seems to work a lot easier. Give us more stuff right now. There's the Jack appearance.
Yep. Mandatory. Isn't that right, buddy?
Yeah, mine's probably clawing at the door. My little gutto fur ball probably sitting at the door like, motherfucker, knock me out again. It's like, I have to, or else she'll be crawling all over everything or scratching everything. One day she'll make an appearance. But yeah, thank you for joining us again for episode 4. Like I said, we'll be going every 2 weeks on Saturday night, like clockwork, hopefully. We got some guests and friends we want to bring on eventually down the line. If something new develops or anything, we may do an earlier one. Who knows? Right now, it seems that we're kind of in that stagnant period waiting for stuff to come out. But yeah, we got some great shows coming out that definitely love to be able to talk about, especially Daredevil being the one that's coming the most recent. I mean, we got only 3 days to wait before the first, I don't know if they're doing an episode time or if they're doing an initial 3 drop and then once a week, or I forgot. They mentioned what they're going to do with that one, and it is, I understand, a little bit different than they've done the most recent ones. So, but yeah, we'll definitely be discussing all that and any trailers that come up. If we get any more cool stuff in the coffee world coming down the pipe, we'll definitely be discussing and trying that stuff out. We do have both of our links are in the descriptions. If you want to check out our streaming channels, we'll hopefully be able to get back on the road doing that every once in a while, having some fun, because it's been a while since we've done one of those. I think the last one was when your Max dildo came out and we blew up flying down through space because we didn't know with power management now you can't thrust all the time or everything overheats and goes kaboom.
Also, if y'all have those of y'all who are watching us after the fact here, if you got a subject you want us to cover, shoot it in the comments. We'll do it.
Yeah, definitely. Please leave it in the comments and we will be glad to discuss it. Or you want to tell us, hey, something didn't look good on this, or hey, you got something. We're open to anything. We're just doing this for fun. We do have I have a third channel that has been created. I don't know when anything's going to be released on. Those are not going to be live. I'm going to start doing some short form to the point videos. And thanks to Shark here, we have an amazing name for the channel. So basically, if you want to hear me just discuss things, I'm going to basically be talking about everything from movie reviews to tech reviews, just anything I find that comes across my table that deserves a good old thrashing or maybe a good old laugh and joy. You can find that channel right now on YouTube. Just search for the Full Fulminate and there you'll find it. But thank you again for listening. Thank you again for joining in. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. I am always Wolf, leading you on this little adventure with my cohorted friend here, Shark. We enjoy y'all for watching. Again, take care of yourself. Be kind. Wake up to the things around you. And we'll catch you next time.